Chapter 1127. The Saintess agrees as she turns around and takes off her shirt. What do you mean, I don't want to? Li Fan suddenly retracted his words. He saw a row of densely packed small words printed on the Saintess' smooth back. This is the secret of the evil sect, 9 Truths technique. No wonder no one can find it, because it is tattooed on the Saintess' back. Study it well, but don't think about anything else. Hearing the Saintess' reminder, Li Fan bitterly smiles. At this time, how can he have any other thoughts? Li Fan looked at the rows of small words printed on the back of the Saintess. There was a bunch of jerky content recorded on it. Although Li Fan had learned a lot of ancient Chinese in high school, he still felt that it was difficult to understand the words in front of him. This is a scam, how can I understand it? Li Fan wants to curse. Do you understand it? I don't, Li Fan shakes his head and says honestly. I knew you wouldn't understand. The 9 Truths technique is a secret left behind by the ancient people. If you want to learn it, you need time. No matter, we will be living here for a while, you can slowly read and learn until you recover. You and I are considered enemies. Seeing the Saintess putting on her shirt and standing in front of him, Li Fan finally asks. Why did you save me? And treat me so well? Who treats you well? The Saintess snorts, I only owe Lu Zhu a favor, this time, I am returning the favor on his behalf. As expected of my good brother, you can help me at a crucial time. Hearing this, Li Fan is overjoyed, but the Saintess rolls her eyes. In the end, are you still going to receive the grace of my holy sect? That is different, my brother is a good person, sooner or later, I will make him change his mind and leave the evil sect. The Saintess snorts this time, but does not say anything. Oh right, have you seen a beautiful young lady? Li Fan suddenly thinks of the gluttonous dragon girl, will she be in danger? Where did all these beautiful girls come from? You are now taking refuge, big brother. Do you still have the mood to think about those things? No. She's my companion. She came with me and disguised herself to enter the underground world. Li Fan quickly explained. Oh, then he should have evacuated with the congregation. The Saintess thought for a moment. In short, you should focus on recuperating and practicing martial arts while you're here. It's useless for you to be anxious about your companion's matter. It won't be too late to look for her after you come out of seclusion. The place our holy church is moving to is very safe. No one will discover it for the time being. Alright. Although Li Fan was a little anxious, he had to admit that the Saintess was right. You should first digest what you read today. The Saintess gave Li Fan a suggestion, practicing martial arts isn't something that can be done in a few days. Be prepared for a long battle. Don't worry, I'll go out and make food every day. Why do I feel like a good wife and mother? Li Fan could not help but want to laugh. You're so talkative. The Saintess knocked on Li Fan's head. Work hard. Wait until I recover my strength, I'll take revenge on you. Now that he couldn't beat the Saintess, he could only obediently let her ridicule him. You rest first. I'll go out and buy something to eat. Not knowing where this underground cave was, Li Fan could only sit on the bed and close his eyes to meditate. The Saintess turned around and opened the cave's secret door before walking out. After she left, the cave seemed to have lost some of its vitality and became much quieter. Li Fan crossed his arms and quietly felt the changes in his dantian while recalling the 9 Truths important technique that he had read. The contents of the 9 Truths important technique were cryptic and hard to understand. Fortunately, it wasn't considered long and only had a total of 9 sentences. Li Fan sat here and tried to comprehend the first sentence. There seemed to be some profound meaning hidden in these sentences. The 9 Truths important technique was not like a secret manual like the 9 Buddha Sutra. It even had a diagram of acupuncture points and moves that explained it very clearly. At first glance, the 9 Truths important technique was very similar to what was said in the Book of Taoism. The Tao can be Tao, but it is not the Tao. The name can be named, but it is not the name. This kind of sentence contained a philosophical meaning. If he wanted to comprehend it, he might really need some time. The 9 sentences, roughly speaking, seem to be describing 9 kinds of existences that existed in this world. The first sentence described a worm. The original text was cryptic, but when translated, it roughly described the strength of a worm. It was like an ant trying to shake a tree, but it was soul-stirring. Li Fan thought of his own strength. Although he was already a grandmaster, compared to the heavens and earth, he was so insignificant. What was the difference between this and an ant trying to shake a tree? And compared to the heavens and earth, what was an ant? Just as Li Fan was sighing with emotion, he suddenly saw a small centipede crawling out from a hole in the wall. The centipede seemed to be very excited. It was as majestic as a general. It climbed onto the table and took a piece of bread crumb from the table. Then, it swaggered off. Li Fan's body suddenly trembled. He seemed to have understood something. The earth was so thick and heavy, but didn't a small insect like the centipede still drill its way out and obtain the strength to survive? The 9 Truths important technique described 9 kinds of states. Worm, grass, wood, fish, birds, beasts, humans, earth, and heaven. If he wanted to obtain the strongest power, shouldn't he first start comprehending the power of the insect? Only by becoming a good insect would he be able to obtain higher power bit by bit. When he reached the final connecting heaven realm, wouldn't he be invincible in the world? Li Fan suddenly became excited. He grabbed an ant from the ground and threw it into a small glass jar. Then, he stared at the ant in a daze. When the saintess returned, she found Li Fan lying in front of the small glass jar, staring at the ant in a daze. He even threw bread crumbs to feed the ant. She was a little crazy. What's wrong with you? You can't figure it out, so you started to study the ant vigor pill? Shoo, Li Fan made a shushing gesture, don't talk. Look at it, it's so interesting. And it's so majestic. Majestic my ass, I think you are really crazy. The saintess couldn't help but sigh. It's over. Li Fan still couldn't handle the pressure and went crazy. But Li Fan didn't care about the saintess. For the next few days, he continued to study the ant. In the end, he even dug out a lot of insects and stored them in a bottle. He raised them and placed them in front of him. He looked at them every day. He looked at them when he was eating, and he looked at them before he slept. The saintess felt that he was really crazy and incurable. Little tyrant, the saintess looked at the back view of Li Fan who was staring at the ant in ecstasy. She couldn't help but sigh, forget it. This is good too. I will always raise you. Chapter 11:28. I understand now. One night, Li Fan suddenly shouted and jumped out of bed. He punched a hole in the wall next to him. The saintess was taken aback and looked at Li Fan in surprise. A few days ago, he was still in a half-dead state and even walking was difficult for him. But today, he was able to display such power. However, this power was a little strange. It did not look strong, but it was able to create a hole in the wall. It was really incredible. Is he slowly recovering? The holy maiden put on her clothes. The second before she punched the wall, Li Fan had hungrily read the 9 Truths essential technique again, as if he was studying the next line. Back then, the sect leader had also read it for a long time and then went into seclusion for a year. When he came out, he had comprehended the heavenly divine technique. It had only been 3 or 4 days, and Li Fan had already gained something. Next, practice hard. Maybe you will recover faster. As soon as the saintess comforted Li Fan, she immediately gave up. Because at this time, Li Fan was lying on the ground with his butt in the air. He was happily staring at a small blade of grass growing out of the corner of the wall. Crazy, he's definitely crazy. The holy maiden could not understand Li Fan's state at all. She simply thought that Li Fan had lost his mind. Maybe after he recovered some of his strength, he would get better. But the holy maiden was disappointed. In the next 2 months, Li Fan was like a madman, doing all kinds of unimaginable things. After staring at the small blade of grass, he would sneak out and stare at the trees outside. Then, in the winter, he would run into the cold river to look at the fish. After that, he would observe the birds in the mountains. Then, it was the beasts that chased after them, making it look like Mount Tai. After that, it was even more frightening. This fellow stared at her every day, and the holy maiden felt as if he could see through her veil. She felt fearful for no reason. You don't need to care about me. Do what you need to do every day. I'm just observing you. Every time she complained to Li Fan, he would say this. The saintess couldn't be bothered with him. She turned to leave, and Li Fan followed her. What are you doing? I want to observe you. I'm going to relieve myself, that's great. I haven't seen what a girl looks like when she pees. Li Fan replied casually and was then beaten up by the saintess. Only then did Li Fan give up on his inconceivable idea. After beating up Li Fan, the saintess was also a little tired. But what made her even more surprised was that when she was beating up Li Fan, his body seemed to be soft and her strength seemed to have been dissolved. This was definitely different from the little tyrant from before. Previously, Li Fan's body was protected by true qi, and was as hard as steel. What did he do? Could it be that not only did he lose his mind, but he also went berserk? The holy maiden felt that if this went on, she would be driven crazy by Li Fan first. No, I have to stabilize my mental state. Right now, Li Fan might have returned to the age of a child, and was filled with curiosity towards everything. I have to take care of him patiently. After a period of time, he will slowly recover. Another month passed, and Li Fan seemed to have lost interest in her. He no longer studied her, and instead began to study the ground beneath his feet, observing the mud every day. She did not know why, but the saintess felt a little disappointed. In that incomprehensible brain of Li Fan, what kind of strange thoughts did he have? The saintess could not understand. One day, when Li Fan was playing with the mud in his hand, the saintess hurried back and pulled him. Li Fan, quickly come with me. I made a clay figurine. Li Fan hurriedly grabbed the clay figurine that he had just made. Don't care about the clay figurine, we are in danger. The saintess did not care about the dirt. She pulled Li Fan's muddy hand with one hand, and the 4 elephants' sword with the other. She dragged him out of the mud kiln. The sky was already dark, and it was still drizzling outside. In the distance, there was a faint light, followed by a rough voice. Someone said that the saintess appeared nearby. She definitely could not have gone far, quickly chase after her. Damn it, I did not expect that old thief Murong also laid out an inescapable net here. The saintess's voice was filled with resentment. She brought Li Fan and hurriedly walked into the forest. In this area of Guizhou, even in winter, the trees were still green. But in this rainy night, it seemed a little scary. When the light from afar shone, there were layers upon layers of ghostly shadows, very frightening. But the saintess did not care about this, and Li Fan also lowered his head to play with the clay figurine, as if he did not care about what was happening outside. The saintess brought Li Fan all the way through the forest, rushing to the next safe place. At this time, a group of black-clothed people blocked her way. Saintess, don't run, we have already laid out an inescapable net, you have nowhere to hide. Bastard, the saintess looked at the surrounding black-clothed people, they seemed to be experts from the Ma family. One of them was an elder from the Ma family. He wore a mink fur vest, with a dragon head saber hanging on his waist, and he let out a cold laugh. Good, saintess, you ran quite far. The 2 of you caused the death of our villa master, this debt should be settled today. Li Fan, you stay here, I will protect you. The saintess instructed Li Fan, then Song Lang Lang pulled out the shining sword, looked around, and shouted loudly, the divine sword is here. Let me see who dares to come. Quickly look, quickly look. Doesn't it look like you? Li Fan roughly pinched the clay figurine, and shouted excitedly, I even made a veil. Look how interesting it is. This thing is too fun, when it is soft, it is very soft. When it is hard, it can be very hard. The saintess blushed, while the Ma family elder laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, this is the little tyrant that shocked the martial world back then? I think he is just a little bastard now. After being crippled of his martial arts by Villa Master Murong, he must have lost his mind, right? Shut up. You lackeys are not qualified to talk about him. The saintess scolded, with the divine sword here, what do you dare to do? The sword is a good sword, it is a pity that the person using it is too useless. The Ma family elder laughed, I can hear the sword crying, don't worry, I will liberate you now. Brothers, snatch the divine sword, kill the little bastard, then you can do whatever you want with this saintess. On such a rainy day, we are all very hot-tempered. Don't waste this great opportunity, properly vent the anger in your body. As he egged them on, the eyes of the surrounding men all turned red. With someone to kill, there was a woman to play with, why not? The little tyrant was also a famous person in the past, whoever killed him was destined to be famous in the future. And whoever was able to do a blow to the saintess, would be awe-inspiring in the martial world. Little bitch, I will let you have a taste of this grandpa's godly spear. A Ma family swordsman already took advantage of the night rain, and the quick blade in his hand caused a raindrop. Chapter 1129. The holy maiden's martial arts were indeed not of a high level, but with the divine sword in her hand, she was quite confident. Looking at the approaching sabermen, she raised her sword. A white tiger suddenly flew out and pounced on the body of the swordsman. It bit his neck to pieces and tore off a large piece of flesh. Seeing this, the other sabermen were slightly afraid. Everyone, don't be afraid. This holy maiden's martial arts are not good enough. She won't be able to release a few decent sword chi. The Ma family elder had good eyesight, everyone, fight her from the sides. Don't get too close and exhaust her energy. Yes. These sabermen immediately began to move around, constantly exhausting the holy maiden's energy. The holy maiden threw out 2 more white tiger sword chi, but after missing, she did not dare to throw out sword chi casually and conserved her energy. But she knew that this was not the way. Murong Bo must have sent more people to find them. There would definitely be more reinforcements coming. At that time, it would be even more troublesome. Ignore that woman for now. Attack Li Fan and distract her. Seeing that the holy maiden seemed to be very concerned about Li Fan, the Ma family elder immediately gave a new order. Damn it! The holy maiden wanted to curse. These self-proclaimed righteous people actually did such despicable things. Die! A saberman appeared behind Li Fan and slashed at Li Fan. Scram! The holy maiden turned around and threw out a black tortoise sword chi, dodging the opponent's attack. Don't go near him. Bastards! The holy maiden's strength was still very weak. The black tortoise chi flickered and disappeared. I'm too weak. The holy maiden somewhat hated herself. At the most crucial moment, I can't even protect him. That's right, you're too weak. Weak fellow. The Ma family elder laughed out loud, a woman like you should obediently serve under my crotch. Seeing the holy maiden's crumbling appearance, more sabermen took the opportunity to surround her. But at this moment, the holy maiden suddenly moved. The long sword in her hand brought out an azure light, following which a 3-meter-long azure dragon flew out and circled around the holy maiden, crushing the bodies of the surrounding sabermen. What? The Ma family elder was shocked, and his heart beat wildly. I lied to you, idiot. The saintess sneered. Kill them. Kill this cunning fox. The Ma family's elder felt that he had been played, and he was so angry that he kept stamping his feet. More and more machete men slowly emerged from the surrounding forest. The Ma clan's people were quickly gathering here in order to get the first credit. The saintess struggled for a while, and after a few minutes, she once again showed signs of fatigue. She can't make it. A young Ma family disciple noticed this and immediately cried out. Wait! The Ma family's elders didn't have time to stop her. Several sabermen who rushed forward were torn to shreds by the dragon-shaped sword chi thrown by the saintess. Idiot. The Ma family's elder was extremely angry. You've all been deceived by this vixen. Continue to fight. Consumption. We'll tire her to death. The surrounding bladesmen no longer dared to be rash. Even though the holy daughter showed signs of fatigue, they did not launch an intense attack. This was exactly what the saintess wanted to achieve, but she only wanted to buy some time to think of a countermeasure. You stupid woman, quickly think of a way. The saintess was urging him. At this moment, a saberman suddenly took the risk and charged in, slashing at the back of the saintess's neck. The saintess no longer had the time to turn back. She was truly exhausted. But at this moment, Li Fan suddenly stretched out his finger and flicked the tip of the saber. Clang! The saber was directly snapped, and the tip of the saberman's head flew out. After that, it cut through 7 to 8 trees and was finally embedded in a tree. What? No one saw Li Fan make a move. They only saw that saberman jumping over, and then his head exploded, and a few trees were snapped. Meanwhile, Li Fan was still squatting on the ground playing with mud. Good chance. The saintess also didn't notice Li Fan's actions behind her. She saw that the surrounding people were all stunned. Although she didn't know the reason, she still sensed the opportunity. Azure Dragon. She used all her strength to throw out a dragon-shaped sword chi, pushing the people in front of her away. After that, she followed the dragon-shaped sword chi and pulled Li Fan, rushing out of the encirclement. Chase them. The Ma family's elder roared. If they were to escape, where would he put his face? A cunning woman and a piece of trash actually managed to escape from dozens of Ma family's elites. If this was spread out, it would definitely be a great shame. But at this moment, the saintess suddenly turned around and threw out a jar. What? The Ma family's elder was shocked. Wasn't this the poisonous gas bomb developed by their Ma family? Be careful. Hold your breath. He hurriedly shouted. At this moment, the poisonous gas bomb exploded, and the green poisonous fog quickly dispersed. The Ma family's people hurriedly held their breath, not daring to move. It was a rainy night, and the poisonous fog would disperse in a while. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the saintess had already escaped with Li Fan. Damn it! The Ma family's elder was so angry that he wanted to kill someone, but now wasn't the time to be angry. Everyone, chase them immediately. Don't hesitate when you see these two people. Kill them without mercy. The night rain didn't stop, and it seemed that it would last for the whole night. And this winter rain lasted for 3 whole days. On the 3rd night, the saintess took Li Fan and hid in a house. Saintess, don't worry. This place is absolutely safe. You can rest assured and stay here. An old man stood in front of the saintess and was very respectful to her. My loyalty to Lord Sect Leader can be witnessed by heaven and earth. When you return to Sect Leader's side, please put in a few good words for me. Don't worry, Sect Leader is very satisfied with your loyalty. The saintess nodded and said to the old man, you also have some status in society, and ordinary people don't dare to casually approach your house. Yes, so saintess can rest assured. The old man ordered the servants to bring tea and food. Saintess, rest assured and stay here. If you need anything, just tell the servants. But what? Saintess, with your precious body, are you sure you want to live with this kind of person? The old man pointed at Li Fan who was sitting in the corner. At this time, Li Fan was no longer playing with the mud. He began to look at the sky through the window as if he was suffering from literature syndrome. We are only living together, not sleeping together. The saintess glared at the old man. He is useful to Sect Leader, so I brought him along. What, do you have something to say? No. Sect Leader definitely has his own intentions. How could I dare to have anything to say? Then I won't disturb your rest anymore. If you need anything, just tell me. The old man seemed to be a little afraid. He lowered his head and walked away. The saintess let out a sigh of relief, entered the spacious room, and glanced at Li Fan. It should be safe here. You continue to look at the sky, I'm going to take a bath. Chapter 11:30. The Saintess was bathing in the bathroom. She was a little tired as she soaked herself in the hot water, unwilling to get up for a long time. In this safe house, she could finally put down her guard and rest in peace. As the hot water soaked her skin, the Saintess closed her eyes. Her mind was filled with Li Fan. This bastard. Why did he go crazy for no reason? A few days ago, he was especially noisy, but today, he became depressed again. He stared at the sky, not knowing what he was thinking. This big bastard, but no matter what, I will protect Li Fan. I absolutely cannot let him be in danger, even if I have to risk my life. I originally thought that my life belonged to Lord Sect Leader. Never did I expect that Li Fan would appear out of nowhere. When the Saintess was bathing, Li Fan was still sitting in the house, staring straight at the sky. At this moment, a few figures slowly walked in and surrounded him. Li Fan did not seem to care about any of this, and only focused on the sky. The old man from before stood in the room, looking at Li Fan with a sinister smile. Little tyrant, you trash, how did you bewitch my sect's Saintess? But it's fine, the holy sect is going downhill now, I have to plan for my future. If I capture you and hand you over to the people from Murong Villa, he should let me live. Saying that sect leader has a use for you, I think it's because the Saintess has taken a fancy to you. What use can a trash like you have for sect leader? As he spoke, he ordered, capture this person. Yes. The surrounding experts immediately approached Li Fan, and at this moment, a figure stood up from Li Fan's body. Flying Lion Goddess, Murong Ying. What? The old man was a little surprised, not knowing where a woman came from. Murong Ying raised the lion-faced shield in her hand and sent an expert flying. At the same time, she swept the holy sword in her right hand and beheaded another expert. The flying lion goddess's attack was clean and efficient, without the slightest bit of emotion. After all, she did not have any feelings. Everything she did was driven by Li Fan's subconscious. There's actually an expert protecting him. The old man frowned, but he shot a look at the short man next to him. The man nodded. He took out something that looked like a spear from behind him, stuffed a hidden dart into it, and aimed it at Li Fan. It seemed to be a special long-range weapon. The short man was full of confidence as he fired a shot. Bang! The dart instantly arrived in front of Li Fan, but the flying lion goddess raised her shield and deflected the dart. Pooh! The dart hit a person next to him, and that person's body immediately turned into a pool of blood. I didn't hit him. The old man was a little unhappy. You guys, go restrain that little girl. Several experts hurried to distract Murong Ying, while the short man took the opportunity to aim at Li Fan again and pulled the trigger. Bang! Another dart, like lightning, shot towards Li Fan. The flying lion goddess was entangled by several experts and could not split herself. But at this time, Li Fan, who had been looking up at the sky, suddenly moved. He stretched out his hand and caught the dart in his hand. Then he flicked his hand and the dart flew back to the short man's forehead. The short man directly turned into a pool of blood. The old man was dumbfounded. What situation is this? Didn't they say that Li Fan was already a cripple? Why is he still so strong? Did something go wrong? Or did Murong lie to me? What's going on? The Saintess came out of the bathroom with a bath towel around her. Seeing this scene, she paused for a moment. However, she was an exceptionally intelligent Saintess. She immediately understood what had happened. You also betrayed the Holy Church. The Saintess looked at the old man with a sinister gaze. You know what the punishment for betraying the Holy Church is. I did not betray the Holy Church. I only want to capture this man. The old man was unwilling and pointed at Li Fan. He is not a member of the Holy Church. Am I not? The Saintess pointed at herself. I am the Saintess, but you disobeyed my orders. Spare me. considering that I've contributed so much to the Holy Church for so many years. The saintess hesitated for a moment. She really did not want to execute this old man. The Holy Church was still considered united, especially a meritorious minister like this old man who did not make any substantial mistakes. Killing him would probably cause dissatisfaction in the Holy Church. Giving him a bit of punishment to make him more obedient would be enough. While the saintess was sentencing, Li Fan appeared beside the old man. He stretched out his hand and 3 fingers pierced through the top of the old man's head. The old man's body instantly began to wither, and in a blink of an eye, he fell to the ground like a dried corpse and shattered. "Ah!" the saintess cried out in alarm. What's wrong?" Li Fan turned his head to look at the saintess. His eyes were very pure, as if the one who killed just now was not him but himself. "Nothing," the saintess let out a sigh. "Whatever, so be it." In this world, other than the Holy Church leader, there was no one more important than Li Fan. "Li Fan, what's wrong with you?" The saintess felt that Li Fan was strange and could not figure out what was going on. Li Fan looked at the sky again and then turned his head. His eyes had regained their spirit. "It's nothing, I might have been a little abnormal a few days ago, but I'll be fine in 2 days." Li Fan stretched his waist and then looked at the dried corpse on the ground. "This person has bad intentions. I punished him for you, you won't blame me for being meddlesome, right?" "It's not like you," the saintess was a little surprised. "Why, are you unhappy?" "That's not it." "So be it, it's nothing. It's just that the previous you wouldn't have killed so decisively." "Wasn't the previous me killed by Murong?" Li Fan smiled. "Now, no matter who I'm facing, I won't show mercy." "That's how it should be." The saintess nodded repeatedly. "As long as you can survive, everyone can be your enemy." "What about you, are you also my enemy?" Li Fan suddenly asked. The saintess was stunned for a moment, then answered with a smile. "If one day, I want to hurt you, don't hesitate to kill me." The saintess' words made Li Fan fall silent. Forget it, don't be so philosophical." Li Fan waved his hand. In the past few days, he had experienced a series of storms in his mind and had just recovered a little. "Flying Lion Goddess, help me clean up the remaining people, I want to rest for a while." Li Fan waved his hand, and the Flying Lion Goddess who was blocking the door raised her sword and killed the remaining thugs one by one. Chapter 1131. Li Fan lay on the bed and reflected on what he had encountered recently. Recently, his state of mind had indeed changed quite quickly. He had been injured by Murong Bo and Sima Hue together. This time, it could be said to be a fatal injury. All his strength had been taken away. For a martial practitioner, this was even more terrifying than death. However, Li Fan had survived and even comprehended the true essence of the 9 Truths Essence technique. From a bug to the heavens, the world was indeed very mysterious. Li Fan had even entered this state. It was as if he was traveling in another world and did not care about the outside world at all. When he woke up, there was already a powerful force surging in his body. Compared to what he had lost previously, it seemed to be much stronger. The 9 Truths Essence technique was really mysterious. Li Fan soaked in the bathtub and stretched. The water was still warm and had a little fragrance. It seemed that the saint had just soaked in it. Forget it, the two of them had been together for a long time. Even if she was ugly, it did not matter to him. It had been a long time since he had taken a bath. It was still very comfortable to soak like this. After resting, he had to hurry and find the dragon lady. After making his decision, Li Fan lay in the warm water and prepared to have a good sleep. At this moment, there was a knock on the bathroom door. "Who is it?" Li Fan sensed the aura outside. It was the saint, so he relaxed. "It's me. Can I come in? Do you need to go to the toilet? Or do you need to take something? Up to you." Li Fan closed his eyes and enjoyed the warmth of the hot water. "Li Fan, let me help you scrub your back." "Huh?" Li Fan was a little surprised. Why was it so sudden? You haven't bathed in a long time, and your back can't be scrubbed. Let me help you. The saint said it very naturally, as if it was just a normal thing. All right. Li Fan did not hesitate. He sat up and showed his back to the saint. Thinking about how the saintess had so calmly let him see her back, he, as a man, had nothing to hesitate about. The saintess picked up the towel and carefully wiped Li Fan's body. At the same time, she kept asking Li Fan about his strength. Speaking of which, I've killed so many people from your cult. Don't you want to kill me? Li Fan casually asked while enjoying the service of the saintess. Didn't you save more saint believers that day? Didn't I kill quite a few today? A bunch of ignorant fools. To think that they would dare to betray me. Fine, I'll just kill them all. The saintess curled her lips. You rascal, how many times do you want me to say it? You keep asking questions like a woman. That's true. Li Fan stretched his neck. I haven't exercised in a long time. From tomorrow onwards, I should exercise more. How did you recover your strength? I didn't even notice. I still have to thank you. The art of 9 truths has taken effect. Li Fan said with a smile, sure enough, it's the wisdom of the ancients. I've learned a lot. What about the 7 heroes' fist? Do you remember? I'm afraid I can't. Every time I recall the 7 heroes' fist, I feel weak. I don't know what kind of evil technique this Murong Bo practices. It can even suck away martial arts. It's really scary. The saintess muttered. It should have sucked away the memory of my muscles and meridians. Li Fan said, when it comes to practicing martial arts, in the end, it will be practiced into the body. Every move and every style is a natural reaction of the body. Murong Bo sucked away my muscle memory. Therefore, if I want to pick up the 7 heroes' fist, it will be much more difficult. But it's not impossible. As long as I train hard like others, I will be able to get it back. After all, it's my own martial arts. I can't just give it away for nothing. And, your 7 heroes' fist is indeed very powerful. The main thing is the inheritance. Li Fan said frankly, I just need to sort out the most basic 7 heroes' fist and pass it to my disciples. Next, what I want to do is to create a martial art that is more powerful than the 7 heroes' fist. This is the little overlord. The saintess admired him from the bottom of her heart. In this world, you are the only person I admire besides the sect leader. You keep mentioning the cult master. What kind of person is he? He is older than you, but much more mature than you. He must be an ambitious person, right? Li Fan guessed. When I first met him, he was indeed like that. The saintess recalled, but the current sect leader is not the same. He has restrained his sharpness. I know a person called Liao Ju. He has unparalleled strength in the world, so he wants to be the emperor of the martial arts world. There is also Murong Bo. This old dog thinks his martial arts is powerful, so he runs amok in the martial arts world. He distorts the truth and is fearless. Therefore, when a person is strong, how can he not have ambition? What about you? Do you have ambition? Yes. Li Fan answered straightforwardly, my ambition is to become the strongest in the world. In the future, whoever dares to provoke me, I will defeat them. You are still like a child. The saintess could not help but mutter. Is it not a child to be the emperor of the martial arts world? Li Fan laughed, the world has its own rules. Why interfere too much? Your state is really similar to the sect leader. The saintess sighed, if I knew this, I would not have shown you the 9 truths vital technique. The sect leader too, after seeing it, he practiced like an old Taoist. He became a god. He has seen your back. Li Fan's voice seemed a little unhappy. The saintess raised her eyebrows, are you jealous? How could that be? I am just curious. Hee, I have never seen it before. There is another 9 truths vital technique in the sect. This one was carved by an old woman who is good at tattooing. There is another one. Yes, it is imprinted on a stone wall. But after we left, that place should have been sealed. In that case, Li Fan nodded, shall we leave tomorrow? You are going to find that little girl? The saintess was very smart and instantly guessed it. Yes, I cannot abandon her. Li Fan seemed to be smiling, that glutton, without me, who can raise her? You seem to like her. How could that be? She is my mentor. I still have to rely on her for many things. So I cannot abandon her. To challenge the Four Saints Tower, it would be impossible without the Dragon Lady. Moreover, he was counting on the Dragon Lady by his side. Only then would the government be willing to be his backer. He was still waiting to find Murong for revenge. He could not escape to leave Family Island in such a sorry state. Murong, that old dog, should just wait obediently. But now was not the time for revenge. Murong was very strong. He had to continue to train himself. Right now, the entire pugilistic world should think that he was dead. It was better not to let out any news. But he had to quickly inform Phenomenal Escort Agency to prevent them from doing anything stupid. Wait a minute. Those guys wouldn't have really done something, right? Chapter 1132. Recently, the pugilistic world was somewhat turbulent. Although the plan for the Holy War had not been carried out yet, something big had happened in the pugilistic world that was supposed to be peaceful. The news of Little Tyrant's death quickly spread throughout the pugilistic world. At this moment, Yan Kai had brought more than 10 armed escorts with him as he aggressively charged to the Murong family's front door. Beside him were Xia Yi, Chen Junhua, and Mr. Big Dipper. Xia Yi wasn't supposed to come, but she insisted on personally avenging Li Fan, so she came regardless. Jiang Yi and Lu Xiaohu were also rushing back from City Ji. These two beloved disciples were Li Fan's only hope. Yan Kai didn't want anything to happen to them, so he hurried to settle things here before the two returned. Although he couldn't beat Murong, it was good enough to seriously injure him. Yan Kai would fight to the end with someone who dared to kill Li Fan's men, even if he had to sacrifice his life. Mr. Big Dipper, you guys just wait here. I'll go in and have a look at Murong's villa. When he arrived at Murong's villa, Yan Kai couldn't hold it in anymore. Mr. Yan, this is revenge for the escort leader. It's everyone's duty in our escort agency. Although Big Dipper was old, he didn't have any intention of backing down. He stroked his beard, and his eyes were bright. This old bag of bones can at least help the escort leader hit that Murong a few times today. As he spoke, Huang Lei was carrying a 5-shot club and walking out of an old sports car that had just stopped. Lei, what the fuck are you doing here? Yan Kai saw him and immediately scolded, do you fucking know martial arts? Why are you here? Whatever. I'll fight that son of a bitch to the death today. As Huang Lei spoke, he carried the 5-shot club and rushed inside. Lei, I support you today. Xia Yi usually liked to hang a sun-like smile on her face, but today her face was gloomy. She turned and instructed an escort beside her, if anything happens to me, let Shueiyue take care of the internal affairs of the escort agency. As she spoke, she carried the charming gentle sword and rushed towards Murong Villa with Huang Lei. Count me in. Chen Junhua carried his sword on his back and followed behind them. These guys. Don't steal my head. Yan Kai hurriedly used his qinggong and started running. The group of people scrambled to be the first to enter the Murong Villa. To them, this was the official start of a war. Murong Villa was naturally heavily guarded. When Yan Kai and the others approached, the guards at the entrance noticed them. They are from Phenomenal Escort Agency. One of the thugs recognized them. Don't let them go. Kill them without mercy. One of the leaders shouted, the villa master said that we don't have to show any mercy to the people from Phenomenal Escort Agency. Yes. Everyone received the order and immediately launched a counterattack. About 30 guards rushed out of Murong Villa and clashed with the Phenomenal Escort Agency's escorts. The Phenomenal Escort Agency's escorts were all well trained. There were a total of 12 people. Each of them carried a shield in their left hand and a long sword in their right, displaying the shield saber technique to the extreme. Moreover, they formed a line and attacked together while retreating together. Under Mr. Big Dipper's command, they actually killed the Murong Villa guards and made them flee like rats. Good, brothers. Today, we will bathe Murong Villa in blood. Yen Kai smashed the head of a Murong Villa guard with a palm strike and tossed his corpse to the side. Everyone, don't be polite. We will make them pay with blood. Yes. Everyone shouted in unison. Even Huang Lei shot 5 times in a row and broke the arm of one of the thugs. Jianghu matters could be discussed in the Jianghu. Even the police couldn't control what happened in Murong Villa. Yen Kai had already thrown caution to the wind. Today, he must make Murong Villa pay the price. The group of people had already killed their way into Murong Villa. Those ordinary guards couldn't even withstand a single blow. Even if Yen Kai and the others didn't make a move, just the 12 escorts alone were enough to make them suffer. Attack! Attack! Kill your way to Murong Villa. Yen Kai's eyes were bloodshot. Right now, he only wanted to flatten Murong Villa and avenge Li Fan. It ends here. Just as the group of people killed their way into Murong Villa's outer courtyard, a man standing in front of the courtyard blocked their way. This man was wearing Murong Villa's overcoat. He was 1.8 meters tall, bald, and skinny. Both his hands were on the hilt of a treasured sword. His eyelids were drooping, and he looked like an otherworldly expert. Scram! Good dogs don't block the way. Yen Kai berated. Hee, a bunch of thieves. Not only did the bald man not dodge, he even sneered. Do you know who I am? I am the Scarlet Blood Sword Demon whose name shook the pugilistic world. The bald man had a proud expression. Back then, I swept through the pugilistic world. If I hadn't met Villa Lord Murong, I'm afraid that reckless juniors like you would have already died under my sword. With that said, he raised his head and opened his eyes completely. From here onwards, no one is allowed to enter. Otherwise, I will kill without mercy. He suddenly pulled out the treasured sword that was stabbed into the ground in front of him and flung it to the side. A scarlet-red sword chi flew out like a crescent moon, directly chopping a tree at the side into 2. Do you see this? This is my strength. Before he could finish his words, Yen Kai had already appeared in front of him and sent him flying with a punch. This bald man's body spun 360 degrees before crashing into the wall behind him. Half of his body was smashed inside. So noisy, stinky idiot. Yen Kai scolded and kicked open the courtyard door. Brothers, let's kill our way in. Murong's villa was very big. Along the way, those who obstructed them were all killed by Yen Kai and the other escorts. At this moment, the escorts of the Phenomenal Escort Agency had displayed their extraordinary fighting strength. The hundreds of bodyguards from Murong's villa were actually unable to stop the charge of these 12 people. But at this moment, Muronging finally appeared. She stood by the lake and looked at Yen Kai and the others who rushed in front of her. Her eyes were slightly hollow. Muronging. Yen Kai looked at her and was furious. We respected you so much back then. Now, you actually did such a thing. I will send you down to apologize to Li Fan now. Can you defeat me? Muronging asked calmly. We'll only know after we fight. Yen Kai shouted to the others. All of you don't make a move. Let Grandpa Dao do it. Just as he finished speaking, Yen Kai had already appeared in front of Muronging. At the same time, he sent a palm strike towards Muronging. Muronging was unmoved. She stretched out her hand and received Yen Kai's palm strike. Their palms collided. Yen Kai possessed the Tai Chi divine skill and continuously dissolved Muronging's palm strike. You are still not my opponent. Muronging said, only by going back can I live. Once I die, I will have nothing left. Today, Grandpa Dao has no intention of going back alive. Well said. Then let me lend you a hand. While speaking, a man riding a warhorse charged out from the side. He swung his saber and slashed towards Murong-ing. Chapter 1133. Old Guan, you're here too. Yan Kai was overjoyed. You're indeed a good brother. If we die, let's die together. I'm not here to die with you. Guan Wenbao shouted, I'm here to avenge my benefactor. Murong-ing wanted to use her right hand to block Guan Wenbao's attack, but at this time, Yan Kai hurriedly stretched out his left hand and placed it on Murong-ing's wrist, forcefully deflecting her palm strike. And Guan Wenbao's broadsword was already at the top of Murong-ing's head. Murong-ing's hands were sealed by Yan Kai. But at this time, a large number of cherry blossoms appeared around Murong-ing. These cherry blossoms swept up and formed a huge sword, about 3 meters long. It directly rose from the ground and deflected Guan Wenbao's broadsword. Then, the cherry blossoms formed a fist and hit Guan Wenbao's body, sending him flying from his warhorse. Guan Wenbao's body somersaulted in the air, and Lisa ran to his body and caught him. So powerful. Guan Wenbao wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Then, he clamped his warhorse tightly, dragged his crescent blade, and charged over once more. However, Murong-ing did not care. She sent out another wave of cherry blossom sword chi, sending Yan Kai flying. You want to avenge yourself with this kind of strength? Although both of them were at the peak of perfection, they were nothing compared to Murong-ing, a grandmaster of this generation. Go back, save your lives, don't make unnecessary sacrifices. Murong-ing reminded again. Don't look down on us. Guan Wenbao and Yan Kai adjusted their rhythm and attacked again. But Qin Junhua and the others didn't intervene. This was a battle that concerned the dignity of those two people. Moreover, they couldn't split themselves into two. More thugs from Murong's villa surrounded them. These people seemed to be elites. Their kung fu was much stronger than the previous guards. Their clothes were also different. The two sides fought fiercely, and it was difficult to determine the victor in a short time. Yan Kai and Guan Wenbao were still fighting Murong-ing with all their might. Yin and Yang, see through the universe. After attacking for a long time without success, Yan Kai suddenly took a step back. Then, he stretched out his hands and slammed them on the ground. The earth trembled slightly, and then a strange force field appeared, instantly pulling Murong-ing, sealing her power. Even the cherry blossoms in the air froze in place. Yan Kai, on the other hand, was drenched in cold sweat. It was obvious that he was having a hard time. Thanks. Guan Wenbao grasped the opportunity and slashed towards Murong-ing with his crescent moon blade that was covered in scarlet flames. But a cherry blossom war god appeared behind Murong-ing. It seemed to be an imitation of the great war god, or perhaps it had cultivated the martial god true body. This cherry blossom war god sent Yan Kai flying with a slap. Then, it spat out cherry blossom sword chi and attacked Guan Wenbao, sending Guan Wenbao flying as well. They haven't even met Murong-bo, but just Murong-ing has already become a huge mountain in front of them. Damn it. Could it be that the two of us are going to stop here? Guan Wenbao was not convinced. How can we admit defeat without avenging Li Fan? Yan Kai clenched his teeth. He was thinking about how to deal with Murong-ing. She is not an opponent that the two of you can face. At this moment, a voice flew out from behind them. Everyone turned around to look and subconsciously felt the hair on their back stand up. A beautiful woman dressed in white, with jet black hair draped over her shoulders and bare feet, was slowly walking over. Wherever this woman passed, Murong's family members felt powerless as if their strength was being sucked out. This beautiful woman was like a withered death god. It was Imperial concubine Zhou. She had come out of seclusion. You actually dared to kill the man that this concubine likes. You are too much. Imperial concubine Zhou reached out her hand and grabbed the head of one of Murong's henchmen who was pouncing over. This Murong's henchman was immediately turned into a dried corpse and then thrown to the side. Since you have done such a thing, you should be aware of it, right? Imperial concubine Zhou, Murong-ing looked at the woman in front of her. Her empty eyes seemed to finally have some fighting spirit. The longer you live, the more boring it becomes. Imperial concubine Zhou faintly sighed. It was not easy to find some special fun, but it was ruthlessly taken away by you insignificant insects. Bring it on. Muronging spread her legs. Her pair of white legs looked very beautiful under the qipao. She reached out her right hand and beckoned Imperial concubine Zhou. The cherry blossom war god behind her also assumed a fighting stance. Martial god true body. I didn't expect that you also learned this martial art. Imperial concubine Zhou's gaze fell behind Muronging. I thought that only Li Fan knew this. Go. Muronging pointed at Imperial concubine Zhou. The cherry blossom war god behind her grabbed a 6 to 7 meter long huge cherry blossom sword and slashed it down towards Imperial concubine Zhou's head. Imperial concubine Zhou did not move. She only reached out her right hand and caught the sword. Clang! The ground of the villa slightly shook, but Imperial concubine Zhou was not injured at all. She used her own hand to catch the huge cherry blossom sword. Not pure enough. Imperial concubine Zhou shook her head. This is the power that you created by imitating Li Fan's war god, right? Too embarrassing. Murong-Ying's body suddenly appeared in front of Imperial concubine Zhou. At the same time, her two fingers stabbed towards the space between Imperial concubine Zhou's eyebrows. Imperial concubine Zhou raised her hand to block. Murong-Ying immediately retracted her sword fingers and turned to attack Imperial concubine Zhou's heart. When Imperial concubine Zhou once again raised her hand to block, Murong-Ying once again changed the direction of her attack. Seemingly knowing Imperial concubine Zhou's power, Murong-Ying did not dare to face her head-on. If you don't dare to face me, how are you going to fight? Imperial concubine Zhou looked down at Murong-Ying. However, Murong-Ying's expression did not change. She quickly wrapped her body with true qi. Her two fingers seemed to be wrapped in golden light as she stabbed towards Imperial concubine Zhou again. Imperial concubine Zhou blocked. Murong-Ying's sword fingers were bounced off, but Imperial concubine Zhou's hand also slightly trembled. Not bad. You found a way to deal with it so quickly. As expected of the current martial arts alliance master. For the first time, Imperial concubine Zhou praised her enemy. Bengong somewhat admires you. However, you still have to die. With that, Imperial concubine Zhou opened her arms. Suddenly, the image of a woman appeared behind her. Behind that woman, there were 3 tails swinging behind her. It was as if she was a fox demon. After training for so long, your power has only recovered to the state of 3 tails. Imperial concubine Zhou sighed. If Bengong's strength wants to fully recover, I'm afraid it will take time. This is your martial god's true body. Seeing the 3 tails fox demon behind Imperial concubine Zhou, Murong-Ying's eyes widened for the first time. That's right. This is the first time that Bengong has used this kind of power in this era. Imperial concubine Zhou nodded. So, you can die happily. Chapter 1134. With that, the demon fox behind Imperial concubine Zhou waves her hand, creating a gust of wind. Murong-Ying uses the cherry blossom war god to block in front of her, blocking the demon fox's attack. The gust of wind blows the cherry blossom war god away, as if it would collapse at any moment. Murong-Ying has also seen Imperial concubine Zhou's terrifying power. It is indeed very scary, as expected of an undying evil Buddha that has lived for hundreds of years. Where is Murong-Bo? Tell him to come out. While Imperial concubine Zhou is attacking Murong-Ying, she actually still has the strength to speak. Her voice carries a powerful aura. It is overbearing as she interrogates Murong-Ying. Sorry to disappoint you. Murong-Ying smiles coldly. My father is not in the villa. Seeing that Murong-Ying still has the strength to speak, Imperial concubine Zhou is a bit surprised. It seems that this lass in front of her is not simple. Imperial concubine Zhou, it is rare to meet an expert like you. Fight with all your strength. Murong-Ying's eyes suddenly shine. Imperial concubine Zhou's strength makes her battle intent very strong. All right. The two women are fighting with all their might. Imperial concubine Zhou brings out an even stronger power. She clasps her hands together and pushes forward. The demon fox spits out a ball of black Shen Qi. It is the size of a basketball. It directly shoots towards Murong. Murong makes the cherry blossom war god retract its arms, blocking in front of her. Rumble. The ground heavily trembles, dust flies everywhere. The cherry blossom war god waves its arm, dispersing the dust, revealing its true body. The ground where Murong stood has a 3 to 4 meter wide crater, and the cherry blossom war god's arm is still emitting black smoke. It is clear that the attack was not light. It's my turn. Murong raises both of her hands. The cherry blossom war god also raises both of its hands, grabbing a 10-meter-long huge sword. It slashes towards Imperial concubine Zhou. The three tails of the demon fox lifted up and wrapped around the falling cherry blossom greatsword. Bam! At the same time, the fox demon's claws slammed forward, hitting the cherry blossom war god's chest. The cherry blossom war god and Murong Ying's bodies shook at the same time. Murong Ying's mouth was bleeding. This imperial concubine Zhou's strength was a level higher than hers, but her unyielding heart was haunting her. She wanted to defeat Imperial concubine Zhou. At this moment, Yan Kai and the others were also fighting with the other thugs of Murong Villa. For a moment, Murong Villa was covered with corpses and blood flowed like a river. However, Yan Kai and the others also started to get injured. One of the escorts even had his right leg chopped off. The other escorts protected him in the center. Little girl, you can't do it anymore. Imperial concubine Zhou's mouth hung a smile, being able to persist until now. You're already very good. Don't underestimate me. The innate qi in Murong Ying's body started to rise, and the cherry blossom war god behind her seemed to have woken up. The cherry blossoms on its body all dispersed, revealing a golden red armor that was filled with cherry blossom patterns. Oh! Imperial concubine Zhou was somewhat surprised. At this critical moment, you actually awakened? What had awakened was Murong Ying's martial god true body. At this moment, the martial god behind Murong had already completely formed. It was wearing a beautiful cherry blossom armor, but it did not lose its might. I have to praise you. Imperial concubine Zhou said, but her eyes were emitting a bright light. The demon fox once again opened its mouth, which contained a black innate qi bullet. And the demon fox's three tails also stretched out and wrapped around the cherry blossom war god's body, locking both of his arms. It's useless to awaken now. Your time of death has come. Imperial concubine Zhou planned to kill Murong in one go, not giving her a chance to counterattack. And Murong also let out a delicate shout. Following that, a sword condensed in front of the cherry blossom war god, preparing to meet Imperial concubine Zhou's attack. Both of them took out their strongest moves, preparing to decide life and death in one move. But at this moment, a figure suddenly fell from the sky, blocking between the two of them. The two of them had already finished their moves, so they did not have time to stop. Both of their attacks landed on the figure's body. What? Who is it? The two women were simultaneously shocked. Following that, they looked around and saw a figure standing there. His body was still emitting black smoke. To be able to take on the two women's strongest moves head-on, who was this guy? Could it be that Murong had returned? At this moment, everyone was looking at that figure. Very quickly, Yan Kai and the rest were all pleasantly surprised. Murong also opened her eyes wide, but her expression was indescribably relaxed. You women, your temper is really big. Li Fan shook his numb hands. In the future, before your period, remember to drink some moon dew. Junior brother, this is great, you are still alive. Xia Ho stepped forward and hugged Li Fan. She was extremely excited. Murong also seemed to want to hug Li Fan, but she stabilized her body and tightly bit her lips. As long as he was fine, everything was fine. Of course I am still alive. Did you all think that I was dead? Li Fan looked at the brothers in front of him. Murong Mountain Villa released news that you're already dead. Our brothers could not help but come to take revenge for you. At this moment, Yan Kai's eyes were red. Benefactor, you have suffered. Guan Wenbao directly half-knelt in front of Li Fan. As long as you are fine, as long as you are fine, Big Dipper repeatedly sighed. Murong Bo deliberately released fake news to send you all to your deaths. Li Fan had already guessed most of it. This old thief Murong Bo was too evil. Murong Bo, you have painstakingly arranged everything. You should come out now, right? Murong Ying furrowed her brows and looked around. Didn't father say he was out? Why was he lying in ambush at home? Her own father felt more and more unfathomable. Murong Bo, you don't have the guts to come out? Li Fan laughed, that's all, just a coward. Li Fan, you are a little too proud. At this moment, a deep voice sounded from the side. Everyone turned their head and saw a familiar figure, wearing a black and white robe, standing on the top of the attic next to them with his arms crossed, sneering again and again. And behind him stood several experts of the Murong family. Each of them was murderous and held a shotgun in their hands. This shotgun was very familiar to Li Fan. It was the shotgun he had seen in the house of the old man from the devil cult. What was shot out from the shotgun was a poisonous dart. It could turn people into blood and kill people without leaving a trace. Sure enough, this Murong Bo's people had already infiltrated the devil cult. This old dog was really good at scheming. In today's Wulin, he played a big game of chess. Li Fan, I let you live for a period of time. Today, I will let you be completely free. Father, why did you lie to me? Murong Ying's heart was filled with grief and indignation, but Imperial concubine Zhou was happy. You are Murong Bo. Good, 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 let me kill you. With that, Imperial concubine Zhou jumped up and leaped toward Murong Bo. In the eyes of Imperial concubine Zhou, Murong Bo seemed to be a dead man. The war was imminent. Chapter 1135. Murong waved his hand and the gunman behind him immediately fired at Imperial concubine Zhou. More than a dozen poisonous darts flew towards Imperial concubine Zhou. These poisonous darts were specially made. They flew silently in the air and instantly arrived in front of Imperial concubine Zhou. There's poison on them. Li Fan reminded. Sure enough, you care about this empress. Imperial concubine Zhou seemed very happy and didn't care about the darts that flew close to her. The demon fox's tail swept out and swept away the darts in front of Imperial concubine Zhou. Oh. Murong was a little surprised. He didn't expect Imperial concubine Zhou to act separately from martial god True Body. A group of rascals, don't disturb this empress and Li Fan's date. Imperial concubine Zhou waved her sleeves at the attic, and the attic immediately began to collapse. As for Murong Bo, he crossed his arms and stood there motionlessly. There were still ruins under his feet, supporting his body. The elite thugs behind him were swept away by Imperial concubine Zhou and fell into the distance. Truly a waste. Murong was a little unhappy. He snorted and then his eyes fell on Imperial concubine Zhou. Imperial concubine Zhou already appeared above his head and stretched out her hand. The three-tailed demon fox spat out a black true chi bullet and went straight to Murong. Murong stood there with his arms crossed. Behind him stood the great god of war. This was Li Fan's great god of war. Now, it has been snatched away by Murong. He directly punched the three-tailed demon fox who had gathered the power of the true chi bullet to the limit. Beating tiger. Imperial concubine Zhou's three-tailed demon fox was directly hit and almost collapsed. She was also sent flying and then fell to the ground. She took 3 steps back and finally stabilized her body. What undying evil Buddha, it's just so. I am now invincible in the world. Murong was very confident in his current strength. He stretched out a finger and hooked it twice at Imperial concubine Zhou. Come over. Interesting. A smile hung on Imperial concubine Zhou's lips. It's been a long time since I've seen such a stupid person. Let me teach you a lesson, you dog slave. At this time, Li Fan placed his hand on Imperial Concubine Zhou's shoulder. Thank you for today, but leave this place to me now. All right. Imperial Concubine Zhou nodded. Ben Gong's martial power is incomparably precious. Right now, I'm a bit tired. I'll leave it to you to send this foolish person away. All right. Li Fan happily agreed. Let me meet this old dog Murong. Brat, you're really arrogant. Murong looked down at Li Fan. Speaking of which, you really have the life of a cockroach. After all that, I still couldn't kill you. You've been struggling at death's door for so long, and I don't even know how you learned martial arts. You're still delusional enough to think that you can stop a chariot? Murong Bo, I didn't want to settle the score with you like this. But since you're so impatient, I'll accompany you to have some fun. When you're in your heyday, I don't care. Murong Bo sneered, not to mention, the current you has lost all your moves. What else can you do? With that, he stretched out his palm and pressed it on the ground. Dragon King Seal. This was also Li Fan's proud move. A huge palm print immediately appeared on the ground. But Li Fan stood there with his arms crossed, motionless. He crossed his arms, and his body burned with golden true qi. Relying on this powerful true qi, he protected his body. You're right. The current me indeed doesn't have any moves. Time is really too short. I haven't had the time to create my own new move. However, this won't stop me from hitting you. When I hit you, I'll naturally think of how to make my move. Big mouth guy, you're going to stop here. Murong Bo said. The war god behind him stretched out his hands and gathered a powerful true qi in his palms. I'll use your ultimate move to kill you. 7 Brilliance Absolute Kill, 10 Great Wisdom King. The air trembled. The war god suddenly pushed his hands forward and released a powerful energy. This huge force pressed down, as if it was going to destroy the space in front of it. At this time, a golden martial god appeared behind Li Fan. Murong was taken aback. This is one of her incarnations, the Flying Lion Goddess. The current Flying Lion Goddess is 3 to 4 meters tall. Her left hand is holding a lion face battle shield and her right hand is holding a holy sword. She picked up the battle shield and blocked in front of Li Fan. Bang! The battle shield fell heavily on the ground, and the shield plate sunk deeply into the soil. Murong Bo's attack landed heavily on the shield, causing it to move back a distance. Like a plowed field, a pit was drawn on the ground. What? Murong Bo finally had a surprised look. You've actually recovered your martial god true body. Murong Bo looked at the martial god true body and faintly felt that it looked like her daughter. Before I practice the move, I can only use a more violent attack method. Li Fan stretched out his right hand and stretched it to the side. The Flying Lion Goddess also raised her holy sword. A golden light flashed, and the holy sword changed its form, turning into a golden hunting rifle. Li Fan's right hand made the shape of a pistol and fired at Murong Bo, bang. The Flying Lion Goddess muzzle spat out an energy bullet, which instantly hit the front of Murong Bo. The war god automatically protected his master and stretched out his arms to block the bullet. The golden light exploded on the war god's body, and Murong Bo's body also took a step back. Such dense inner strength, Murong Bo was a little surprised. In just a few short months, how could you recover to such a level? It is all thanks to you, Murong Bo. Li Fan smiled. You allowed me to comprehend a deeper level of power. Martial god true body. What kind of new power is this? No, the martial god true body is just a kind of profound martial skill. Li Fan pointed at the Flying Lion Goddess behind him. Every martial artist, when they circulate their true qi to the highest state, they can cultivate this martial god true body. However, after this period of time, I realized that true qi is not the final state of a martial artist. There are all kinds of energy, magic, true qi, and superpower are just one of them. But the density of true qi is not pure enough. What do you mean? Murong Bo frowned. He felt that something was wrong. True qi is a kind of energy in the human body, but everything in the world has energy. Flowers, birds, fish, insects, birds, and beasts. To be able to use these powers to cultivate, it is the most complete energy that surpasses true qi. Li Fan opened his palm, and a ball of blue true qi condensed above his palm. A huge blue ball appeared above his head, with a diameter of more than 1 meter, and kept rotating. This blue light was faintly mixed with gold. If I were to use an example, this is the true qi that I used to cultivate, and its ability is about this strong. Murongbo coldly snorted and also extended his hand. A ball of golden true qi with a diameter of 3 to 4 meters appeared above his palm. That's right, it looks like you are stronger. Li Fan smiled. Chapter 1136. It looks like you are stronger. Li Fan had a smile on his face. The blue true energy ball above his palm continued to compress and quickly changed its color, turning into a ball of white energy. Moreover, its size was also rapidly condensing. Soon, a white ball appeared. It was about the size of a table tennis ball, but the energy contained within it made Murongbo constantly apprehensive. Even Imperial concubine Zhou felt a strong sense of oppression, making her faintly uneasy. You see, my strength in the past, if I were to describe it in terms of true energy, it would be around 15 dragons. But Murongbo, you have absorbed my previous energy. Adding your own, it is 3 times as much as mine, about 40 dragons. This strength is already very strong. Li Fan raised his right hand, indicating the small white ball in his palm. And this ball can be said to be the evolution of true energy, vitality. This kind of energy is purer and closer to nature. Although the scale is very small, at that time, a friend of mine told me that the so-called strength of 1 dragon in our martial arts family is simply nonsense. At that time, I thought she was just bluffing me, but now I understand the meaning of her words. If I were to describe it, my current strength is probably the strength of a true dragon. What nonsense are you talking about? I am the one who stands at the peak of martial arts. Murongbo did not acknowledge Li Fan's words. Our Murong family practices the martial god's secret art. I, Murongbo, am the current generation's martial god. And you, Li Fan, are just a stepping stone for me. With that, Murongbo's martial god's secret art released a ball of chi bead, which went straight to Li Fan. It doesn't make sense. Li Fan sighed. He put his hands in his pocket. The flying lion goddess behind him pushed the lion face shield, flicking away the ball of chi bead. The chi bead flew to a house in the distance and blew up the 2-story building, leaving nothing behind. Since you don't understand, I will teach you with my fist. Li Fan clenched his right hand into a fist. Martial God True Body, 2nd level. The winged lion goddess behind him immediately dispersed and turned into pieces of golden winged lion armor that covered Li Fan's body. Soon, Li Fan's entire body was wrapped in golden armor, with a lion-faced helmet on his head, looking extremely majestic. 2nd level. Murongbo's frown deepened. Yeah, this is different from when I fused with the flying lion goddess. This is the true way to use the martial god True Body. Nonsense. Shut your mouth forever. The great god of war behind Murongbo punched repeatedly in the direction of Li Fan. Although it was just a punch, the powerful fist aura all landed on the ground. Boom boom boom. Craters appeared on the ground. Soon, dust flew high into the air and engulfed Li Fan's body. In the next second, the smoke was penetrated, and Li Fan's figure instantly appeared in front of him. Covered in golden armor, he looked like a valiant martial god of war. Before Murongbo could finish his words, Li Fan's fist had already landed heavily on his chin. Bang! Murongbo's body flew out and spun a few rounds in the air before crashing into a house behind him. Boom! The entire villa was crushed by the sudden force. This is my current strength. Li Fan's fist was still emitting white smoke. How is it? Comfortable? Bang! The great god of war stood up and pushed away the gravel on his body. Murongbo stood up with a slightly red face. but it wasn't a big injury. Pay. Murongbo spat out a mouthful of blood and looked at Li Fan. Li Fan, I really underestimated you. I didn't expect that not only did you not die, you even comprehended such strength. If I absorb your essence chi, I will still be #1 in the world. The evil technique you practice is indeed amazing, but this time, it's not necessarily the case. You will know after you try. Murongbo's feet shot out and instantly arrived in front of Li Fan. Then, he slapped Li Fan's chest. Pa! Murongbo's palm hit heavily. Then, his palm was like a black hole, sucking Li Fan's body. Hand over your strength. It's all mine. Murongbo laughed greedily. Li Fan, on the other hand, folded his arms and let Murongbo use his evil technique to extract his power. At first, Murongbo's face was filled with joy, but very quickly, the joy disappeared and was replaced with fear. How is this possible? Your martial god law can absorb other people's true chi, but did you forget that what I practice is not true chi but essence chi? Li Fan's body was surrounded by a layer of golden brilliance. Damn it! Murongbo's flame palm went straight to the center of Li Fan's eyebrows. Since he can't absorb it, he must quickly get rid of this enemy, Li Fan. His potential is immeasurable, he must not be left alive. But at this time, Li Fan's knee hit Murongbo's lower abdomen even faster. Murongbo is after all a martial arts expert, he has practiced martial arts for a lifetime. He turned his palm and slapped Li Fan's knee from the side. Then, he followed up with another palm, going straight to Li Fan's chest. Li Fan's body gently leaned to the side, both hands grabbed Murongbo's wrist, pulling him out, trying to make Murongbo lose his balance. Murongbo's martial arts are excellent, his horse stance is stable, Li Fan's pull did not bring him out. At the same time, Murongbo turned around and strangled Li Fan's neck. Li Fan stretched out his right hand and grabbed Murongbo's wrist. Murongbo's other hand slapped at Li Fan again, Li Fan met it with a palm. The two of them collided, and a powerful force spread out. The surrounding houses and the ground were all lifted up. Murongbo swept his leg again, a chasing deer, with lightning, and stabbed at Li Fan's face. But Li Fan also followed with a kick, and the two men's calves also collided. The two of them seemed to be equal in strength. At this time, Li Fan suddenly opened his mouth and spat out a heavenly thunder sword, instantly piercing between Murongbo's eyebrows. This heavenly thunder sword was the ultimate technique that Dragon Lady passed on to Li Fan. It was not a martial technique, but a divine technique, so he kept it. It was also the only technique that Li Fan still knew. However, he wanted to use this only technique to kill Murongbo in one strike. Li Fan had already calculated it, but at this time, Murongbo suddenly attacked. The cherry blossom war god held his sword and slashed down, hitting the heavenly thunder sword and shattering it. Murongbo was struggling at death's door. While Li Fan was distracted, he took out his palm and slapped it on Li Fan's chest. Bang! Li Fan took 2 steps back after being hit, stabilized his body, and looked at the pale girl in front of him. Muronging, Li Fan looked at Muronging, you disappoint me, I'm sorry, this was the first time Muronging was so flustered. He is my father after all. Chapter 1137. Li Fan smiled bitterly. Luckily, his helmet was covering his face. No one could see his current sorry state. The corner of his mouth tasted sweet and fishy. It was not a pleasant smell. You are indeed the daughter of the Murong family. Murongbo was overjoyed. Come, kill him for father. Murongbo didn't dare to be confident that he could kill Li Fan after exchanging palms with Li Fan for a long time and consuming their internal energy. But with Murong Ying's help, it would not be a problem. They must kill Li Fan. This person could not be left alive. Who dares? Imperial concubine Zhou was furious. Murongbo's family was too despicable. Stop her! Murongbo roared. A group of men dressed in black appeared on the rooftops of the villa. They were all death warriors trained by the black market merchant. These people disregarded everything and rushed towards Imperial concubine Zhou and the rest. Imperial concubine Zhou and Yan Kai tried to rush out of the range of these people to help Li Fan. But there were too many death warriors. Every one of them was not afraid of death. They fought with their lives on the line. For a moment, they were stopped. Damn it! The demon fox behind Imperial concubine Zhou kept killing the death warriors in front of her. She was an undead evil god, but she was stopped here. This was a great humiliation. Yan Kai and Guan Wenbao were very anxious. Li Fan was there. They could not let anything happen to him. Murong stood there and did not move. Trash! Murong Bo was furious. He stared at his beloved daughter. Her character was too similar to his younger self. Back then, he had almost given up everything for the sake of the woman he loved. It was only when he nearly lost his life that he was enlightened and came to a realization. In this world, other than himself, no one was more important and worthy of trust. He had to become stronger so that no one would dare to betray him. Murong's eyes were red, and she had already arrived in front of Li Fan. A bear king seal went straight for the center of Li Fan's eyebrows. Li Fan wanted to fight back, but he was still affected by the palm strike. The second stage of martial god was also a double-edged sword. Although one's strength increased, one's essence energy was also depleted rapidly. His body stiffened slightly. He didn't even have time to make a move. At this moment, a petite figure appeared in front of Li Fan. Murong Bo was shocked. At the last moment, he had withdrawn most of his power. However, this palm still landed solidly on the figure's shoulder. Bang! A soft body crashed into Li Fan's arms, and he hugged her tightly. Shao, I. Li Fan looked at Murong, who was lying in his arms, and his heart almost stopped. Daughter. Shao, I. Murong Bo and Murong Ying were also frightened. The two of them moved forward, but were forced back by Imperial concubine Zhou. Imperial concubine Zhou's demon fox spat out a ball of true qi, which hit the ground. The two of them retreated in panic. Shao, AI, quickly circulate your qi and heal your injuries. Li Fan didn't have any more rejuvenation pills on him. He placed his palm on Murong's back and healed the clotted blood in her internal organs. Brother-in-law, don't be afraid. I can't bear to die, Murong coughed out 2 mouthfuls of blood and said weakly. You silly girl, why did you run out? When did I need you to save me? Idiot. Li Fan wanted to scold her, but he was reluctant to do so. I don't know. I just ran out like that. Murong wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. If I bleed, I will definitely become ugly. Brother-in-law will hate me. No, you are the prettiest. Li Fan comforted Murong. Don't talk, quickly circulate your qi and heal your injuries. Li Fan, let go of my daughter. Murong Bo's eyes had turned completely red as he roared again and again. For him, his 2 daughters were his reverse scale. Murong Bo waved his hand, and the war god behind him condensed a powerful true qi, which gathered into a huge qi pearl. Otherwise, I will kill all of you. Kill me. Murong AI coldly looked at her father. Kill me too. Daughter. You, what are you saying? How can father bear to touch a single hair of yours? Murong Bo hurriedly said. He looked at his little daughter's eyes with infinite gentleness. Good. Come back, don't learn from your sister. Don't be soft-hearted to outsiders. I have been with brother-in-law day and night, he is no longer an outsider. Murong AI let Li Fan support her as she slowly stood up and looked at her father. Don't talk nonsense, we are a family. Dad is doing this for your own good, come back. I have had enough. My sister and I have lived with brother-in-law for so long, our feelings are so deep. But you, because of your ambition, you will change your face at any time, and then harm brother-in-law, forcing us to separate. Murong AI was not afraid at all. She finally took off her cute mask in front of everyone and took out the attitude of a little witch. How do you love me and my sister? You keep saying it is for our good, but in fact, isn't it for yourself? I have had enough, I don't want to live like this anymore. From today onwards, I, Murong Ai, draw a line with Murong family. Murong Bo, you are no longer my father. Murong Ying, you are no longer my sister. You guys, just pretend that you don't have a family like me. You, what are you saying? Murong Bo's heart was filled with fear. The truth. Murong Ai's eyes were firm. That's it, I have made up my mind. From now on, whatever happens to Murong family has nothing to do with me. I, Murong Ai, will live and die with brother-in-law Li Fan. If brother-in-law lives, I will live. If brother-in-law dies, I will die. With that, she held Li Fan's hand tightly and stood beside him. Crazy. Crazy, all crazy. At that moment, Murong Bo seemed to have aged a few decades. His originally black hair actually had white strands. Really crazy. Murong Ai, stop it. I will give you one last chance, come back immediately. Murong Ying reprimanded her sister. Murong Ying, I am also very disappointed in you. Murong Ai looked at her sister with some mockery in her eyes. Since childhood, I have always admired you, thinking that you can always do things that I can't do. In the end, I was even a little jealous, and wanted everything that you have. Including your martial arts, status, and even the person that you like. She glanced at Li Fan. This man, doesn't he already have your heart? Is it really so difficult to do something for him? Can't you be like me, like and then love bravely? You are still young, so your mouth is full of love. Murong Ying looked at her sister, but her eyes were full of sadness. I am the heir of the villa. It is not so easy to be the master of the world's #1 villa. She withdrew her eyes and became cold. Love will be willful, but love is responsibility. Murong Ai, do whatever you want to do, from now on, you and I are no longer sisters. She waved 2 fingers, and the sword energy drew a ravine on the ground, with this as the boundary, we are even. Chapter 1138. Why are you still here? Murong Ying scolded Li Fan and the others. Let's go. Li Fan looked at Murong Ying a few more times. He waved his hand and left the villa with the people of Phenomenal Escort Agency. Murong Bo didn't even have the strength to speak. He stood there dejectedly, looking very sad. Murong Ying stood in the wind, her hair dancing in the wind. A spring snow was falling slowly. It seemed that it was almost the new year. Murong and the Li family had a great battle, and both sides had suffered great losses. The news spread quickly in the martial arts world. Luo Shuewu, who was far away on the snow-capped mountain, heaved a long sigh of relief when she heard the news. Great. He's still alive. For a moment, the martial arts world, which was struggling at death's door, changed. The Holy War almost swept the entire martial arts world. All the reputable sects either surrendered to the 4 villas and became the government's dogs. Otherwise, they would be slaughtered to the last man, and not even the chickens and dogs would be spared. Some sects lived in seclusion in the mountains, avoiding the world and living in fear. It didn't mean that everything would be fine if they surrendered to the 4 villas. These sects were all forced to take the energy-dispersing pill. The energy-dispersing pill was made by Song Fuya. It was specially used to disperse the energy in the dantian of martial fighters. Although it couldn't be achieved overnight, as long as one took it continuously for more than a month, the energy in one's body would disperse, and the dantian would wither. Even if one wanted to practice martial arts, he could only practice to the point of perfection. It was impossible to improve further. That wasn't all. The government issued a ban on martial arts. From then on, no one in the martial arts world was allowed to use martial arts without the government's permission. Anyone who resorted to violence would immediately have their limbs crippled and thrown into the death cell. The former embroidered uniform guard was disbanded, and the commander's whereabouts were unknown. Sima Hui, the master of the Sima family, became the new commander. He established the supervision organization of the martial arts world, the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard's job was to uphold the rules of the martial arts world issued by the government and hunt down disobedient martial fighters. The four major alliances began to go into exile, and the Xitigarbha tomb keeper was completely destroyed. The White Tiger clan of the Central Plains served the Murong Villa and became the government's lackeys, merging into the Imperial Army. The remaining Whistling West Wind and Laughing Breeze leaning on the sword had already disappeared, hiding from the Royal Army's pursuit. At the same time, they were secretly resisting the Royal Army's dark rule. Rather than saying it was the Royal Guards, it was more like Murong Bo's dark rule. Murong's family was the biggest winner of this catastrophe. The escort agencies had also suffered a severe blow, and many of them were forced to disband. The four major escort agencies and 8 smaller escort agencies had all survived, but the experts in the escort agencies had no choice but to take the energy-dispersing pill. Their power had plummeted, and their strength was far from what it used to be. There were also some escort agencies that hid in the dark and sought refuge with the king of the underworld, the Phoenix King. They retained a certain amount of strength, but in the future, they could only hide their heads and show their tails as escorts. Li Fan's Primo Escort Agency had also suffered a blow. Fortunately, he had established the agency as a logistics company, organized a strong transportation network, and had the support of the government. Therefore, his escort agency's strength was completely preserved. Many escorts also came to seek refuge with Li Fan. Even Jin Zhou of the Jin family escort agency had sought out Li Fan to cooperate, hiding under the wings of Primo Escort Agency. At this point, the darkest period of the martial arts world had arrived. The Chinese martial arts world only existed in name. Li Sun, what are you doing here? In the military region where the 12 sacred beasts were, the general saw a thin middle-aged official slowly walking out of a jeep and immediately questioned him. This is my territory. It's not your place to act presumptuously. Major General Ran, how can you say that? The official named Li Sun looked at the Major General in front of him with a smile. This is a place to protect the country. How did it become your territory, Major General Ran Mingran? I'm the person in charge here. The general folded his hands and looked at the official who was one rank higher than him. No matter how high your rank is, I have the final say here. Go back. I still have military affairs to attend to. I don't have time to entertain you. I'm here for inspection. This is the number of the military region's commander. Li Sun dialed the number and handed it to the general. The guard took the phone and placed it beside the general's ear. Someone on the phone said something and the general's expression turned ugly. Finally, he gave a military salute to the phone. Yes, I will complete the mission. Great. It seems that you understand. Li Sun looked a little happy. I heard that the new Shangfang sword has been selected. Can you take me to have a look? He's out on a mission. He's not here. The general curled his lips. Hurry up and take a look. Then get lost. Major General Rant's temper is still as bad as ever. I'm already being polite. The general looked coldly at the official in front of him. The holy war plan that you advocated has destroyed thousands of years of Chinese civilization. Li Sun, I really didn't expect that a secretary like you could do such a thing. You're really good. I'm no longer a secretary. Li Sun kept a smile on his face. Also, the so-called civilization is an existence that threatens our rule. Getting rid of them will greatly benefit the stability of society. Major General Ran, you should actually thank me. After all, I've helped you accomplish what you couldn't do. And, you're welcome. You'll suffer retribution. The general cursed fiercely. I'm an atheist. Li Sun didn't care about the general's curse. I'm just doing what I should do. You're just licking the U.S. Emperor's boots. I like to call it cooperation. Li Sun smiled at the general. I'm really happy for you. You were born into a family of the founding fathers. And, you're welcome. The general sent these words back to him. Just wait and see. you'll understand my great achievements. Li Sun walked into the underground base under the accompaniment of the general. At this time, G University. Hide the bow when the birds are done, cook the dogs when the hares are done. I didn't believe this before, but today, I'm completely convinced. Li Fan sat in his apartment and chatted with Bai Lin Luo through the video call. Like I said, the government will have this trick sooner or later. However, Li Island is doing well now. The construction minister from Japan is doing well. You can come back and take a look when you're free. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. Compared to these, I'm more worried about Demon Island. N? Li Fan looked at the CET for English book in his hand and asked Bai Lin Luo. What happened? I thought Demon Island couldn't be found at all. It seems to be the influence left by the prophet. Sometimes, I can sense the mutants around me. So that's how it is. Li Fan thought for a moment. The domestic affairs are still very troublesome. I don't want those guys on Demon Island to awaken. I'll help you keep an eye on things here. Congratulations, your dojo is about to open, right? Yes, it's this afternoon. I'll go there in a while. Li Fan put down the CET4 book. After all, I still have to take the CET4 exam in the morning. Chapter 1139. As a student, the most important thing is naturally his studies. Even if Li Fan has the government's help, he still has to take the grade 4 exam by himself. For his school, if he can't pass the grade 4 exam, he won't be able to get a degree certificate. As for opening the dojo, it is because Xia Ho calculated that today is an auspicious day, so he must open the dojo today. Li Fan can only take the exam in the morning and open the dojo in the afternoon. However, a month before that, Li Fan would be even busier. In this month, he is not busy with anything else but researching on how to create a move. But creating a move is really a flash of inspiration. If he forced himself to do it, he might not be able to do it. Considering that he might have to fight frequently, Li Fan is worried. Half a month ago, after Dragon Girl was sent back by the Saintess, other than eating every day, she helped Li Fan. Do you want to learn a move? After Li Fan did not have any results for half a month, Dragon Girl finally proudly put down the chips in her hand and looked at Li Fan. I can teach you. What do you know? Li Fan has a face of disbelief. You only know how to eat. Nonsense. Dragon Girl is very dissatisfied with Li Fan's words. And, you can still sleep. Li Fan added. You are looking down on our dragon race. Dragon Girl immediately jumped up. She has already returned to her usual young girl's figure, so when she stands up, her height is only as high as Li Fan's chest. But this little girl is quite spirited and arrogantly said. In our dragon race, fighting is a common thing. Back then, the dragon race was divided into 4 major clans, living in the 4 seas. Between the 4 seas, fighting is a common thing. Therefore, every dragon, from the moment they are born, must undergo the most rigorous training. Fighting can be said to be our instinct. Relying on instinct to fight is not enough, I need fighting skills. Li Fan emphasized. Of course we have battle techniques. Do you think that our dragon clan only fights brainlessly? The dragon lady rolled her eyes. The dragon clan has a set of dragon battle techniques. The 4 great dragon clans all have different dragon battle techniques. Oh, because the one who adopted me was a Thunder Clan dragon warrior, I know the Thunder Dragon clan's dragon battle technique. I don't like fighting, but if you want to learn, I can teach you. The dragon lady spoke one thing after another. The world of dragons that she spoke of was like another world to Li Fan. I'm a human, can I learn it too? Yes, the amazing thing about the Battle of Dragons technique is that it can be used in both dragon and human forms. Dragon Lady looked at Li Fan happily, as if she had finally found something to blackmail Li Fan with. What do you think? Do you want to learn? What do you want in return? Li Fan knew that the Dragon Lady would not teach her for nothing. A year-old Australian lobster. The last time I ate it, it was really delicious. Who brought you to eat it, little Wan? She's still the best to me. You only know how to give me instant noodles. Is instant noodles not delicious? Delicious, that's incredible. Li Fan cursed inwardly. Little Wan was too meddlesome. She must have led this little girl astray when she brought the dragon lady and Murong out to play last time. A year-old Australian lobster. Li Fan felt like his heart was bleeding. Dragon lady, think about it. You're my teacher. Does a teacher need conditions to teach a student? Isn't this your sacred duty? When a teacher teaches a student, the student still has to pay tuition. I'm someone who went to the capital's great academy, you can't fool me. The dragon lady pouted at Li Fan. Are you going to give it to me or not? If not, I won't teach you. Half a year. 3 seasons, I can't give any more. I never talk about conditions. Deal. Li Fan used delicacies to bribe the dragon lady once again. There weren't many dragon fighting techniques. It was a combat technique used by the dragon race, and there were only 4 moves in total. It could also be said that there were only 4 moves inherited from the dragon lady. Li Fan recalled the journey of the past half a month and couldn't help but sigh. Master, what are you thinking about? Lu Xiaohu's words pulled Li Fan back from his memories. Ah, nothing. Li Fan gently patted his cheek to wake himself up a little. Master, do you want to hire a lion dance team? I think those martial arts schools do. Lu Xiaohu asked. Where did you see it? Li Fan was a little surprised. Why didn't he know about this? I saw it on TV. Go to the side. Li Fan laughed angrily. How can modern times be the same as TV dramas? In this era, where can I hire a lion dance team? It's hard to find and very expensive. Master is just worried about money. Lu Xiaohu joked. Beside him, Jiang Yi silently pulled out the sword on his waist. This was the hero's sword that Li Fan had obtained before. Now, it was handed over to Jiang Yi to manage. Hey, what are you doing? Lu Xiaohu was shocked when he saw the sword light. Being disrespectful to master, I want to clean up the sect. Jiang Yi had a serious look. Violent woman. Lu Xiaohu hurriedly hid behind Li Fan. Master, why did you accept such a violent disciple? Impudent. Jiang Yi roared and pulled out his sword. Accept your punishment. All right. Xiaohu is indeed a little unruly. You have to teach him more, but don't be so violent. Li Fan hurriedly stopped Jiang Yi. We are all martial brothers and sisters of the same sect. We must take care of each other. Yes, Master said that we must take care of each other. Master, Jiang Yi was a little unhappy. You want me to take care of this idiot? Hey, who's the idiot? Lu Xiaohu shouted, the one who says others are idiots is the real idiot. Childish. Jiang Yi coldly snorted. All right, why are you two quarreling again? Both of you are my inner disciples. I still hope that you two can bring the 7-hero fist to greater heights. Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If you two act like this, how can I have high hopes for you two? It's my fault, Master. Jiang Yi immediately lowered his head and apologized to Li Fan. I'm immature and let Master down. It's good that you know you're wrong. Lu Xiaohu was proud of himself when Li Fan glared at him. All right, I also have my shortcomings. Lu Xiaohu could only touch the back of his head and apologized. I might be too noisy. I will learn to improve in the future. And, the two of you work hard. The 7-hero fist depends on the two of you. I will work hard. I will definitely not let Master down. The 2 disciples respectfully bowed to Li Fan. All right, that's more like it. Pack up, let's go out and take a look. The dojo is open today, so it should be very busy. Li Fan patted their shoulders, and the 3 of them walked out of the door. Chapter 1140. The opening of Li Fan's martial arts center represented the official establishment of his sect. From then on, there would be a 7 chivalrous sect in the world, and Li Fan would be the founder of this sect. For Li Fan, he was a little excited. However, he had to put on a serious face now. After all, there were 2 little apprentices here. Different from the time when the 7 chivalrous sect martial arts center was opened, many people came to watch the fun. In City G, opening a martial arts center was nothing new. Learning martial arts to strengthen one's body was also a popular trend in modern society. Li Fan was wearing a black and red martial arts suit with the logo of the 7 chivalrous sect printed on the chest and back. It was also designed by Lu Wan herself. It was very fashionable and had a martial arts style. Huaxia had issued a ban on martial arts, but the royal guards could not control Li Fan's martial arts center. Although there was no lion dance team, Li Fan still symbolically set off firecrackers. Now that the new year was coming, the sound of firecrackers added a touch of the festive atmosphere in the city. Brother-in-law, only 1,000 firecrackers. It's not lively enough. Murong was wearing a yellow down jacket, a short skirt, and flesh-colored stockings. She was holding Li Fan's arm and acting coquettishly. Why don't we set some more? It's the new year tomorrow. It's more lively this way. 1,000 firecrackers is not enough. Why don't we add another 1,000? Li Fan dotingly pinched the little girl's nose and left Murong's house. Now he was the one taking care of the little girl. This was the first time that she was going to spend the new year outside, so he could not let her feel lonely. As for Murong Bo, it was said that ever since his youngest daughter left home, the former overlord of the martial arts world was somewhat unable to recover from the setback. Even the matters of the manor were handed over to his eldest daughter, Murong Ying, to manage. Now, Murong's villa was the real #1 villa in the world. Even the royal guards were under the jurisdiction of Murong Villa. It seemed that Murong Ying had the power of life and death in Wulin, but because Murong Bo seemed to be very decadent, he did not care about Wulin at all. Therefore, Si Mahue restrained Murong Ying and was ready to seize power at any time. Murong Ying must have had a hard time too. How is 1,000 enough? Murong Ai said with a straight face, at least 80,000, right? Are you going to blow this place up? Li Fan smiled bitterly. How big of a commotion did this girl have to make before she was satisfied? As expected, he was still a child. Li Fan stood at the entrance. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he leaped up and took off the red cloth on the signboard, completing the opening ceremony. Although Li Fan's martial arts school taught traditional martial arts, it adopted a modern business model. The martial arts school used a membership card system. Only those who had applied for advanced membership could learn the cultivation method of the 7 gallant force. As for non-members, they could only learn ordinary outer sect combat techniques, which were only used for self-defense. Li Fan originally did not want to do this. He felt that this was tantamount to blocking people with poor conditions from practicing martial arts. This was not his original intention. But on this point, Lu Wan, and Lin Yuhsn both insisted. Lin Yuhsin's idea was that people with poor families basically had no money to practice martial arts. It was the same in ancient times. The poor learned martial arts while the rich learned martial arts. But Lu Wan, believed that letting them learn the 7 gallant force as soon as they entered the school would create a situation where crooks mixed with honest people. The membership system was expensive and could block some people with bad intentions. And for the poor who wanted to learn advanced martial arts, there was naturally a corresponding policy. After 2 years of study in the martial arts school, with good conduct, one could become a member for free. This idea convinced Li Fan. On the first day of the school's opening, there were many people enrolled. The ordinary students were first taught by Jiang Yi, while the members and advanced classes were taught by Li Fan. But for now, there were no advanced classes and no one applying for membership. In a new martial arts school, there were far more people watching than people who wanted to learn something. But Li Fan was not worried. It was good to let some people strengthen their bodies first. Even if it was an ordinary class, Li Fan would also teach some exquisite breathing techniques to slowly improve their physique. When there were more people in the future, he could set up a few more beginner classes and slowly expand. Li Fan and everyone arrived together. Master. Jiang Yi saw Li Fan walk in and immediately got up and bowed to him. Don't be so polite. Li Fan nodded to his little disciple. Today, you are the teacher here. As he said that, he sat to the side, picked up a cup of tea, crossed his legs, and calmly watched Jiang Ye's performance. The reason why he did not ask Lu Xiaohu to be his teacher was because this kid was really unreliable. He was different from Jiang Yi. Lu Xiaohu's mental age was too young, just like a child. If he were to teach students, he would have to hone his skills a little more. Li Fan now wanted to see how Jiang Ye's level was. She was a little ruthless in her bones, and he was afraid that she would be too harsh for these ordinary students. There were a total of 20 ordinary students, old and young. The youngest was 6 years old, and the oldest was more than 60 years old. Some people were a little unconvinced when they found out that the person teaching them was a girl who looked only 13 or 14 years old. A few guys in their 20s were discussing below. The classroom was not big, about 200 square meters. The wooden floor was polished until it was shiny. There were a few cushions on the floor, and all the students sat on the floor. Jiang Yi sat opposite them and taught them face to face. Therefore, when someone spoke, Jiang Yi naturally heard it clearly. Li Fan sat on the armchair next to him and did not say anything to stop her. Dragon Girl sat next to him, eating snacks while watching the fun. This little girl, after parting ways with Li Fan previously, now watched Li Fan even more closely. She even followed him to the toilet. Li Fan understood. After all, for Dragon Girl, being by his side was the safest place. The laughter of those guys in their 20s became louder and louder. Li Fan could see that Jiang Yi was trying her best to control herself. After all, he had previously told her to be patient with the students and not to lose her temper easily. But Jiang Ye's patience was obviously limited. And because of the noise of these guys, the surrounding students also felt a little uneasy. You guys, if you don't want to go to class, you can go out. Jiang Yi raised her head and scolded them sternly. Yo, we paid, why should we go out? A guy with dyed yellow hair picked his nose and said. Looking at him, Li Fan thought of Huang Lei in the past. They were all so frivolous, unafraid of anyone who refused to submit to them. However, Huang Lei was also a talent. The legend of splashing feces on the campus was still circulating in the second high school. He was probably the only one who could do such a ridiculous thing. And the yellow hair in front of him was obviously the leader of the few boys. He directly talked back to Jiang Yi. Little girl, you're young, but your temper isn't small. Chapter 1141. Blondie looked at Jiang Yi and did not take her seriously at all. He had only heard from the people around that this Qixia dojo was very powerful, and it was the spokesperson for the recently popular twins. Blondie was extremely fond of the twins. The name of their debut group was Wulin Sisters. Although their songs did not have much influence at first, one single later became popular all over the country. Recently, they even wrote the latest single for the Qixia dojo, called Fist of the Seven Heroes. Blondie, who had always stayed at home, could not help but want to learn a few moves. But when he came here, he saw that the teacher was actually a young girl. It was too commercialized. Was it enough to trick the customers here? Blondie had also learned karate when he was young. At that time, the instructor was very powerful, and his moves were extraordinary. He directly broke 6 tiles with one palm. This was simply shocking to the Blondie at that time. But later, because he did not like to suffer, he left the karate dojo. It was not easy for a song to awaken his healthy cells to practice martial arts, but he did not expect to be cheated by this dojo. He was really unhappy. You actually judge strength by age? Jiang Yi reminded Blondie, for martial artists in China, it is best to practice martial arts as young as possible. I am not talented, I only started martial arts when I was 5 years old, and after a period of wandering, I am only at the intermediate level of the ascendant. Jiang Yi had already reached a threshold. If she wanted to step into the peak of the ascendant, she still needed some mental training. Being the teacher of these people might be helpful to her. Looking at Lu Xiaohu, he was not as strong as her junior. He stayed too comfortably on the Li family island, and his martial arts did not improve in the later stages. Bringing him back to the mainland was also a kind of training. Moreover, with Jiang Yi who joined later to stimulate him, this kid might even be able to arouse his competitive spirit. As for Li Fan's third disciple, Abe Haruko, the head of the Abe family in Japan, Li Fan basically left her alone. Originally, she was kept to contain the three big families in Japan. As long as she was honest and dutiful, then she could do whatever she wanted. Li Fan didn't want to take in any more inner chamber disciples. Abe Haruko could be considered as her last disciple. As for the outer hall disciples, it didn't matter if he took in a few more. In any case, he just had to let his two disciples take care of them. The topic was already off topic. Li Fan supported his chin and watched the conflict between Blondie and Jiang Yi. Nonsense. Most of the Chinese kung fu is just for show. What do you mean by reaching the next level? What kind of bullshit is this? The yellow-haired man shouted indignantly, spittle flying everywhere. Since you don't like Chinese kung fu, why did you come to learn it? I'm just here to join in the fun. I didn't expect you to fool me so much. The blonde was very unhappy. When I was learning karate, the instructor was very strong and could break 6 tiles with one palm. Look at how skinny you are. Can you do it? Huaxia martial arts practice Qi. Jiang Yi continued to maintain his patience and explained, although you can't come into contact with it right now, after you train in our dojo for a few more years, you might be able to learn it. Bullshit. Modern combat was all about physical strength. I don't believe that you can defeat a heavyweight like Tyson. The yellow-haired man swore, with his size, a kick from you is like an itch. But a punch from him can kill a bull. You can't even withstand a punch from him. That's right, that's right. This dojo is boring. It's just a trick. Let's go. Alright, let's go. The young lads were clamoring to leave, and the veins on Jiang Ye's face were clearly throbbing. Li Fan remained silent and continued to watch how Jiang Yi would settle this. The group of people were shouting and no one was listening to her. At this moment, Jiang Yi suddenly stretched out her hand and slammed it on the ground. Kacha! A crack immediately appeared on the floor. Following that, the wooden floor directly shattered, revealing the cement floor below. Jiang Yi withdrew her palm. The ground was still emitting white smoke. The surrounding people were all stunned and did not speak for a long time. Fuck you, this little girl has great strength. Have you calmed down? Jiang Yi stood up and pointed at the yellow-haired man who was shouting the loudest. Didn't you say that Tyson can knock me down with one punch? According to your theory, you're a man and your body is stronger than mine, so your strength must be stronger than mine, right? She stood there with her arms crossed. I'll just stand there and you can attack me at will. As long as you knock me down, I'll double your tuition fee and then hire a private karate coach for you. What do you think? When the yellow-haired man heard this, he forgot about the floor and was a little moved. But if you lose, you have to fix this floor for me and then obediently go to class. Alright, I'm a man. Do you think I can't beat a little girl like you? The yellow-haired man was full of confidence. Maybe the floor earlier was already broken and was just used by this girl to scare people. She wants to use this to scare me. What a joke, what's there to be afraid of? The yellow-haired man was full of courage. He walked forward and considering that the other party was a little girl, he did not use too much strength and directly punched Jiang Ye's thin shoulder. But Jiang Yi stood there motionlessly. The yellow-haired man felt as if he had hit an iron plate. He rubbed his fist in pain and took 2 steps back. Fuck, is there an iron plate inside you? The yellow-haired man rubbed his fist and shouted. Oh. Jiang Yi was expressionless as she pointed to her forehead, come, hit me like this. Little girl, see if I don't beat you to death. The yellow-haired man was determined to make this girl suffer a little. He jogged a few steps forward and then punched the little girl's forehead. Pa! His fist landed solidly on Jiang Ye's forehead. This thin and weak Jiang Yi still stood there steadily as if her feet were rooted. She did not move a single step and did not even shake her head. But Jiang Yi made her move. She slowly placed her palm on the yellow-haired man's chest. Bam! The yellow-haired man flew out and fell at least 5 meters away before sitting on the ground. Jiang Yi showed mercy. Although he fell far away, he was fine. The yellow-haired man was stunned for a moment, then he covered his hand and cried. My hand. It hurts so much. How can a man be so delicate? Jiang Yi curled her lips. Forget it, it seems you are not suitable to practice martial arts. I'll refund your tuition. Go home. She looked at the other students. If any of you still want to quit school, you can do it now. My 7 Heroes Martial School only accepts people who practice martial arts, not sissies. How could these students be willing to quit school? They were all excited and surrounded Jiang Yi. One by one, they respectfully began to ask for martial arts advice. The yellow-haired man who cried for a long time finally lost interest and obediently crawled back to continue the class. He did not dare to be rash anymore. Chapter 1142. Just like that, the student class was stabilized, and Li Fan could finally put down one of his worries. However, the operation of the martial arts school was not very smooth. Li Fan's martial arts school was jointly boycotted by other martial arts schools in G City. Early in the morning, when Li Fan arrived at the entrance of the martial arts school, he found some students in various Taoist uniforms, sitting quietly around the entrance of his martial arts school. There were 2 or 3 people in each school, a total of 20 to 30 people, blocking the entrance. You guys, if you don't leave, I'll beat you up. Lu Xiaohu was short-tempered. When Li Fan arrived, he was quarreling with these people. Let's fight, I'm not afraid of you. You're just a kid, don't pretend. When I played the Youth Cup, who knows where you were? The surrounding martial artists mocked and ridiculed, not taking Lu Xiaohu's threat seriously. Lu Xiaohu knitted his brows tightly. These guys were really too hateful. He rolled up his sleeves and was about to make a move, when Li Fan came over with Dragoness. Xiaohu, what's wrong? Master, these people came to make trouble. As soon as Lu Xiaohu saw Li Fan, his face immediately showed a wronged expression. They kept scolding me. If it wasn't for Master not allowing me to make a move, I would really beat them up. Gee, who doesn't know how to brag? Beat us up. I don't know who will be beaten up if we really fight. These people began to talk all at once. Master, Lu Xiaohu clenched his fist, can I make a move? They're all outer disciples, don't fight. Li Fan could see that none of these people were masters of internal martial arts, they all learned external martial arts. Fighting with them was really a disgrace to Jianghu. Everyone, we're all friends in the martial arts world, shouldn't we help each other? Li Fan cupped one hand in the other before his chest. Coming here to make trouble early in the morning, isn't it a little too unreasonable? Unreasonable? You're talking about unreasonable. A bald man wearing a red martial arts uniform shouted, Brat, do you know that this is our territory? If you want to open a dojo, do you have our permission? Oh. This made Li Fan curious. My business license was obtained through formal procedures at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce. Could it be that this license needs to be stamped with your seals? Business license, we don't care. The bald man in red twitched his mouth. We don't care what kind of shop you want to open. However, in City G, or even the entire G province, if you want to open a martial arts club, you have to get permission from our martial arts association. Without our president's approval, no one is allowed to open a new dojo. Bullshit. Lu Xiaohu scolded, who do you think you are? What does opening a martial arts school do to you? Motherfucker, you little brat, are you asking for a beating? Come on. Both sides were very angry, and they could start fighting at any time. In City G, martial arts clubs were flourishing. From Shadowless Kick to Xingyi, many external martial arts were proliferating and developing here. It was lively and prosperous. However, there were too many people opening martial arts clubs in City G. Many martial arts masters dared to open a martial arts club and accept apprentices after learning some martial arts. Later, Wing Chun Kung Fu became popular, and it became the largest martial arts club in the area, which made other martial arts clubs unable to survive. Later, these martial arts clubs united and established the Martial Arts Association, which fought with Wing Chun Kung Fu many times. Both sides were badly battered and finally signed a peace agreement. The market was too saturated, so the presidents of the Martial Arts Association and the Wing Chun Association reached an agreement to prohibit any other martial arts clubs from opening. If someone really wanted to establish a new martial arts club, he had to get the approval of the presidents of the two associations. Li Fan's martial arts club suddenly appeared in violation of the rules of the association. This stimulated the temporarily balanced martial arts world in City G. At first, they thought that no one would go to this inexplicable martial arts club to learn. However, they didn't expect that the martial arts club would become more and more popular, and even stars and idols would advertise it. After a discussion, the presidents of the two associations decided to close Li Fan's martial arts club. That was why such a large group of people came to the entrance of the martial arts club to sit quietly, which affected their normal business. We are operating legally. Since when did you have the right to intervene? Lu Wan also arrived. Hearing what happened here, the usually gentle little beauty was a little annoyed. This is an illegal gathering. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. Lu Wan took out her mobile phone. Okay, call the police. The bald man in red looked like a rascal. He crossed his arms and said disdainfully, "There are so many of us here. If you call the police to arrest us, we will be locked up for 15 days at most. But tomorrow, a new group of people will come here and continue to sit quietly. After we are released, we will also come here to sit quietly and make it impossible for your martial arts club to operate normally. You're quite cruel, young man." Hearing this, Li Fan couldn't help laughing. What the fuck are you laughing at? Let me tell you, it's impossible to open a martial arts club in City G without the permission of the president. Li Fan didn't say anything. Standing on the side, Jiang Yi, who had been silent, suddenly pulled out the hero's sword in her hand. She would not let go of those who insulted her master. Hey, don't get angry. However, Li Fan pressed down on her hand. Isn't this quite interesting? He looked at the reckless bald man in red in front of him. I want to know, how can I get the permission of your president? Then you can ask the president. The bald man in red rolled his eyes at Li Fan. I don't want to talk to you. This is boring. I see that you are all martial artists. Talking with your mouth is too embarrassing, isn't it? What do you mean? Let's talk with our fists. I have counted, there are a total of 28 of you here. If you can beat my disciple, I will immediately close the martial arts club and go home for the new year. What do you think? You're really crazy. The bald man in red smiled coldly. The 20 of us are all real martial artists. Aren't you afraid that your little disciple will be killed by us? No, his skin is rough and his flesh is thick. You can train him without worry. Li Fan said with a gentle smile, how about it? Do you dare? Afraid of you? The bald man in red was provoked by Li Fan's attitude. He clapped his hands. Don't blame us for being ruthless if you lose an arm or a leg. No, I don't lack money. With his hands behind his back, Li Fan had a big smile on his face, which made Lu Xiaohu's heart beat faster. Master was too black-bellied. Xiaohu, I'll have to trouble you. There were a lot of onlookers around. Li Fan felt that this was a good opportunity for publicity. Leave it to me, master. Lu Xiaohu rubbed his fists, as if he couldn't wait any longer. Jiangzi, go and kill this guy. The bald man in red ordered his companion. Chapter 1143. A burly man walked over and stood in front of Lu Xiaohu. Lu Xiaohu was short because of his late puberty. Currently, he was about 1.6 meters tall. The burly man in front of him was at least 1.8 meters tall, more than a head taller than him. In comparison, Lu Xiaohu was like a dwarf. Little guy, don't cry later. Li Fan transmitted his voice to Lu Xiaohu. Don't use internal force. Against ordinary people, internal force was absolutely not allowed. Even these martial artists were only proficient in external martial arts, at most they knew some self-defense hard qigong. It was too unfair to use internal martial arts on them. But even if it was just an extra punch, Li Fan had confidence in his eldest disciple. Hurry up and start. Lu Xiaohu rubbed his stomach, I'm still waiting for breakfast. Too arrogant. I'll teach you a lesson. The burly man, Chang Zi, said as he directly slapped Lu Xiaohu's face. This was called hitting the face before hitting someone. A sudden slap was hard for most people to defend. And with this man's strength, if it was an ordinary person, they would definitely be hit until they were dizzy, maybe even one or two of their teeth would be knocked out. The baldy in red was also complacent, waiting for Lu Xiaohu's ugly crying appearance. But at this time, Lu Xiaohu steadied his stance, then reached out, grabbed Chang Zi's thick arm with both hands, and then pulled his body back. Borrowing Chang Zi's strength, he directly performed a beautiful shoulder throw, lifted Chang Zi's body up, and then slammed him hard on the ground. The ground seemed to tremble slightly. Other than not using qi, Lu Xiaohu did not hold back at all. After the man fell to the ground, Lu Xiaohu did not forget to give him a punch on the head. With a bang, Chang Zi directly fainted. Looking at Chang Zi, who was defeated in seconds, the baldy in red was stunned for a few seconds. What was going on? The tall and strong Qiangzi was actually knocked down by a teenage kid? Next. Hurry up, don't waste young master's time. Lu Xiaohu easily KO'd one. He was in a good mood and waved to the next one. Why don't all 20 of you come at me together? I'll be fast. After Lu Xiaohu finished speaking, he felt that there was some ambiguity in his words. Damn, what I mean is that I fight fast. Hurry up. Lu Xiaohu crooked his finger, and the rest of the people were furious. It's just a fluke that I won once. Stop acting like a dick. The red shirt baldy's face was contorted. He could no longer control his anger. Today, they had come to humiliate this dojo, but in the end, they were at a disadvantage and were beaten up by the other party. Zhao Ku, you come. Give him a taste of your tiger form fist. All right. A short man jumped out, but the muscles on his body were abnormally strong. Especially his hands, which were full of calluses. One look and you could tell that he was a boxing expert. He stood there and roared, imitating the roar of a tiger. This kid is doomed. Yeah, Zhao Ku's tiger form fist has been cultivated to the acme of perfection. Moreover, he's very ferocious. This kid will probably be heavily injured if not dead. The rest of the people sighed, as if Lu Xiaohu was really done for. Kid, consider yourself unlucky today. Die. As Zhao Ku spoke, he used a tiger claw to grab Lu Xiaohu. Lu Xiaohu laughed. Wasn't this showing off in front of Guan Yu? How could this person's tiger form fist compare to the tiger strike technique created by his master? But soon, Lu Xiaohu realized that something was wrong. The opponent's tiger form fist was extremely fast, and every move was fatal. Every time, it went straight for his vital parts. This caused Lu Xiaohu to lose his rhythm, and the opponent's claw scratched his chest, leaving a claw mark. Blood splattered, and Lu Xiaohu sobered up a lot. There's always someone better than you out there. If it's just a competition of external martial arts, these people in front of you aren't bad. Li Fan's telepathic message also reached his ears. Lu Xiaohu was a little ashamed. He understood why Li Fan wanted him to compete. It was not only to make a beautiful advertisement, but also to let him understand what kind of mentality a martial artist should have. He was still lacking a lot in martial arts, and he should not be so impetuous at such a young age. Kid, now you know how powerful I am. The baldy in red laughed heartily. That's more like it. Hurry up and cripple this kid, and let the dojo's reputation hit rock bottom, so that they won't get angry whenever they see them. But at this moment, Lu Xiaohu suddenly found an opening. He lowered his body and dodged Xiao Ke's claw. Then, he went into Xiao Ke's arms, and with a tiger claw, he grabbed Xiao Ke's neck and pressed him to the ground. Xiao Ke was pinched hard, and his head suffered a heavy blow. He immediately fainted. Thanks for letting me win. Lu Xiaohu put away his anxious look, cupped his hands at the crowd, and continued to ask for permission to fight. Lu Xiaohu became a lot more humble, which surprised the people around him. What's going on? How did he change? This kid is a little troublesome. The baldy in red could also see that although this kid was young, his martial arts were indeed far beyond ordinary people. No wonder this kid was so confident, it seemed that he had some real skills. Ali, you go. The baldy in red thought for a while, and decided to let the stronger Ali go. Ali practiced spring kick, and his martial arts were also good. With him, it was naturally foolproof. Okay, leave it to me. Ali walked forward, and made 2 kicks. His kicks were swift and powerful, and even the air crackled with explosive sounds. Kid, you're not bad, but this is the end. Ali suddenly appeared in front of Lu Xiaohu with a spring of his feet, and then dropped from the sky, aiming straight for Lu Xiaohu's head. The surrounding audience exclaimed, "What a fierce kick." Li Fan could also see that this person's external martial arts seemed to have been trained to the extreme. His kick, be it strength, angle, or speed, was perfect and impeccable. As he expected, he really could not underestimate the martial artists in this world. Li Fan seemed to have learned something from Ali. Lu Xiaohu crouched and rolled away. At the same time, he did a somersault, and nimbly appeared under Ali. Then, he lifted up, and a tiger claw went straight for Ali's chest. But Ali was indeed an expert, and with a direct knee strike, he forced Lu Xiaohu back again. Hee, now that you've met Ali, whatever evil you are, show yourself. The baldy in red was very proud. Now you should know how powerful we are. Hurry up and let your little disciple go back. If he really breaks an arm or a leg, we won't be responsible. As I said, we'll bear the consequences ourselves. Li Fan smiled, without a trace of panic, but I still have to remind you, the one in danger is not my little disciple. Chapter 1144. What do you mean? The red-clothed baldy couldn't react for a moment, and at this time, Xiao Ke had already kicked Lu Xiaohu's chest. However, at the critical moment, Lu Xiaohu showed the strength he should have. He lowered his body and brushed against Xiao Ke's leg, dodging this move. At the same time, his fist hit the opponent's lower abdomen, beating the tiger. The current Lu Xiaohu could actually freely display the unique skill of the 7 Brilliance Fist. This made Li Fan quite gratified. For Li Fan, it was basically impossible for him to use the 7 Brilliance Fist again. However, it could still be passed down through his disciple. Beating the tiger was a success. At the moment when the enemy launched an attack, when the body was at its weakest, it could achieve the most effective effect. What? Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw Xiao Ke being sent flying. Isn't this too incredible? What kind of power is this? He's obviously just a kid. The surrounding onlookers also cried out in surprise. In this martial arts club, how could a 10-year-old kid knock down such a powerful adult opponent? This is already the 3rd person. Li Fan raised 3 fingers. There are still 25 people. Who's next? If you don't mind, you can all come together. After all, my eldest disciple still needs more training. I'll have to trouble you guys. The red-clothed baldy's anger surged again. What does this mean? This is looking down on us too much. This is not going according to the rules. They should be the ones with the advantage. Who's the bully today? He deserves a lesson. The 3 of you go beat him up. The red-clothed Baldy turned around and ordered his 3 junior brothers. The few of them learned the iron thread fist. With the strength of their fists, they could definitely beat this kid to a pulp. The 3 iron thread fist disciples immediately came forward and surrounded Lu Xiaohu. Brothers, take this. The red-clothed Baldy took out the steel rings from the bag at his feet and distributed them to his 3 junior brothers. The 3 of them put the steel rings on their arms and looked at Lu Xiaohu aggressively. Everyone, please advise me. Lu Xiaohu cupped one hand in the other before his chest. Then, he lowered his body and spread his hands apart. Like a ferocious tiger descending a mountain, he was ready to fight. The 3 iron wire fist martial artists immediately launched an attack. The 3 of them seemed to have trained together all year round, and they had a tacit understanding of each other. They attacked Lu Xiaohu from 3 different directions. Lu Xiaohu was not in a hurry to counterattack. He dodged left and right to avoid his opponent's attacks while constantly observing his opponent's attack patterns. With the steel ring, the power of the iron thread fist was unleashed to the fullest. Even if it was just an external martial art, with a bit of body hardening technique, the movement of his fist was enough to create wind in the air. Even Li Fan couldn't help but nod. These people's fist techniques were indeed well practiced. If he combined it with his inner force, he should be a very strong expert. When it came to martial arts, there was no shortcut. One had to practice hard and improve day by day. As for himself, he could be considered a special case. Triangle attack. After attacking for a long time without success, he seemed to be a little impatient. The bald man in red instructed, and the 3 people immediately attacked from 3 different directions, like an iron triangle. They threw punches at Lu Xiaohu, forcing him to have no way out. However, Lu Xiaohu was not in a hurry. He had already seen through the 3 people's attack patterns. Lu Xiaohu directly rushed towards an iron wire fist martial artist. The moment his fist arrived in front of Lu Xiaohu's body suddenly leaned to the side, avoiding his fist. At the same time, he raised his claw and grabbed his chest. The guy's chest exploded with blood, and Lu Xiaohu's body retreated, as if he had already calculated the trajectory. The other 2 men's fists just brushed past his ear and flew out. Lu Xiaohu's hands clasped the back of their necks, and then he pressed them to the ground, causing them to fall flat on their faces. Lu Xiaohu's attack was like thunder, with the momentum of a tiger. Once he launched an attack, it was like crushing dry weeds and rotten wood, knocking down 3 people in a row. The bald man in red broke out in cold sweat. Although he was irritable, he was not a fool. After knocking down so many of his companions in a row, and all with one move, even a retard should be able to see the difference in their combat power. Thank you for letting me win. Lu Xiaohu once again cupped his hands and stood in the middle of the field. The surrounding audience could not help but applaud, admiring that a child could defeat so many experts. Lu Xiaohu continuously cupped his hands to the surrounding people, that proud look seemed to be a little smug. After all, he was still young and had the temperament of a teenager. It was not until Li Fan glared at him that he stuck out his tongue in embarrassment, and then obediently returned to Li Fan's side. Childish. Jiang Yi stood at the side with his arms crossed, and could not help but mock. Humph, you're just jealous of me. If Lu Xiaohu had a small tail, it would be raised high at this time. I am your senior brother, you should maintain a heart of reverence for me. Senior brother weak chicken. Jiang Yi curled his lips. With such mockery from Jiang Yi, Lu Xiaohu could not sit still under the watchful eyes of the crowd. Jiang Yi, if I don't let you see the strength of a senior brother today, you won't know the rules. As he said that, Lu Xiaohu's expression suddenly turned cold, and a strong aura suddenly appeared from his body, causing the Baldy in red, who was originally ready to attack, to shudder. Come on. Jiang Yi yawned, as if he did not care. If you want to compete, then go back and compete. Li Fan did not want to be too ostentatious outside. Now that the martial arts world was enforcing a ban on martial arts, Li Fan did not want to give the Imperial Guards a chance to attack him. Once there was a competition between internal martial arts experts, the Imperial Guards would definitely be alarmed. Humph! After being reminded by Li Fan, Lu Xiaohu also came to his senses. He snorted at Jiang Yi, "I'll settle the score with you later." "Anytime." Jiang Yi hugged the hero's sword and replied without lifting his eyelids. "Okay, everyone, let's continue." Li Fan said to the baldy in red, "It seems that my eldest disciple still has a lot of energy, you guys give him some pointers." The red-clothed baldy stood there somewhat resentfully, feeling slightly uncomfortable. The surrounding people also started to jeer at them, which made the people from the Martial Arts Association very embarrassed. Damn it, the baldy in red felt like he had unknowingly fallen into the opponent's trap. That Li Fan, the owner of the Seven Heroes Martial Arts School, looked young, but seemed to be very scheming. "That's it for today." The baldy in red shouted, "But it won't end like this. The Martial Arts Association has their eyes on you. If you don't close within 3 days, don't blame us for being rude." "Oh. What do you mean by that?" Li Fan asked with a smile. "Brothers, let him know." Chapter 1145. More than 20 martial artists surrounded Li Fan. Jiang Yi and Lu Xiaohu were ready to make a move, but they were stopped by Li Fan. "You bunch of hooligans, you want to make trouble because you can't win?" Lu Wan also took out her phone, ready to call the police. "This is the Martial Arts Association's matter, put down the phone." A martial artist next to her wanted to snatch Lu Wan's phone, but Lu Wan grabbed his wrist and kicked him to the ground. Lu Wan had also learned martial arts from Li Fan for a while, so it was not a problem for her to deal with a martial artist. Li Fan held down his 2 disciples, not letting them make a move, but he himself made a move. He avoided a martial artist, and with a knife hand strike on the back of his neck, directly knocking him out. Although he did not use internal force, Li Fan's strength was not weak after training. Especially the way he attacked, it was the most powerful 1-inch punch in martial arts. The reason why he did not let his 2 disciples make a move was because he was worried that they did not have a sense of propriety. Li Fan's footwork was agile, and he dodged a martial artist's kick, while at the same time, his knife hand struck the martial artist's throat. The martial artist clutched his throat, knelt on the ground, and could not breathe for a long time. Although Li Fan's every move was aimed at vital points, he was merciful, and maintained his propriety. Every move made a martial artist lose the ability to fight. In the blink of an eye, Li Fan took down 7 or 8 martial artists, and his clothes were not even touched by his opponents. The baldy in red was furious, and he rushed forward with a steel ring on his arm. He directly used the 2 tigers stealth technique towards Li Fan, punching out with both fists. However, Li Fan lowered his body, dodged his fists, and at the same time, punched his lower abdomen with 1-inch punch. The baldy in red felt his stomach twist, and his vision turned black. His legs went weak, and he knelt on the ground, gasping for breath. And around Li Fan, there was no one left standing. "Everyone, for your sake, it's better to stop." As Li Fan said this, he kneed a martial artist's lung, almost making him faint. His attacks were ruthless, but they were also filled with vitality. The red-clothed baldy's consciousness was still there. He had witnessed Li Fan's power with his own eyes, and fear finally began to creep into his heart. This dojo master was simply too powerful. Perhaps only the other dojo masters would be able to deal with him, damn it. You wait. This isn't over yet." With the help of his companions, the red-clothed baldy slowly stood up. He looked at Li Fan with resentment in his eyes. "We can't deal with you, but someone else will." "Really?" Li Fan smiled. He stood there with a gentle expression. "Since I, Li Fan, have opened a dojo, I'm not afraid of people coming to make trouble. No matter who it is, I'll take it. You'll regret this. Let's go." The red-clothed baldy and his companions retreated in a sorry state, while the surrounding people applauded. These people were just here to watch a good show. However, Li Fan's publicity was indeed on point. A lot of people immediately became interested and came to register their children. There was also an 80-year-old grandpa who also wanted to register and join the advanced class. After asking for the reason, he said that practicing inner force could prolong one's life. However, he was still rejected by Li Fan. He was too old and could no longer practice martial arts. He couldn't even practice the most basic ones. If something bad happened after learning it, no one would be able to bear the responsibility. "Master, how about I help you clean up?" After returning to the dojo and entering the room, Jiang Yi took the initiative to ask Li Fan for help. "Clean up what?" Li Fan was looking at his phone. Hearing her words, he immediately raised his head and looked at his little disciple. "Get rid of all the people from the dojo." Jiang Yi said with a straight face, "They're too much of an eyesore. They should all be eliminated." Li Fan didn't know what to say. After following him for so long, Jiang Ye's ruthless aura still hasn't diminished. They're just some martial masters. Why bother with them? Li Fan reminded Jiang Yi, "They didn't threaten our lives. Moreover, it's very beneficial for us to open a dojo." "Master, don't you think these people are troublesome?" Jiang Yi half knelt in front of Li Fan and asked, "I'm willing to help Master get rid of these dregs and share Master's burden. I'm very happy that you have this kind of intention." Li Fan touched her head, "But Master has countless troubles. Can you help Master kill them all? If Master needs me, I'll do my best." "Good girl." Li Fan was very touched, but he still wanted to enlighten Jiang Yi, "But some people must be killed, and some people can be ignored. Practicing martial arts is a matter of climbing higher and higher. But if your vision stops at these people, you can't break through yourself." "Is that so?" "Yes, and this incident is also a publicity stunt for us. You can be at ease as your teacher. As for the other matters, leave it to me to arrange." "Okay, I'll listen to Master." Jiang Yi nodded, and Li Fan heaved a sigh of relief. This girl, it would be great if her personality combined with Little Tiger's. The two of them happened to be two extremes. This was also his fate. "There are a lot of new students. How do you feel? Is it hard?" Li Fan asked about Jiang Ye's work. "No problem, Master. Leave it to me." Jiang Yi hurriedly said, "These are all disciples' things. But, there is one thing that I hope Master can approve." "What is it?" "Disciple wants to fight with senior brother." Jiang Yi rolled her eyes, "Disciple knows. Master wants to let senior brother lead the advanced class, right? You're so smart. How can you even guess this?" Li Fan couldn't help but laugh, "That's right. Your senior brother has been practicing martial arts for a long time. Let him lead a group of core advanced class. These people, in addition to practicing martial arts, also need to be of use to me. Although your martial arts are not bad and you're steady, in terms of interpersonal skills, you're not as good as your senior brother. Disciple will correct my shortcomings, but senior brother is frivolous and can't be put in an important position. Please let disciple fight with senior brother to choose the person in charge of the advanced class." "I knew it. If you meet Master alone, you definitely won't say anything good." Just when Li Fan was in a dilemma, the office door was suddenly pushed open. Lu Xiaohu angrily walked in and glared at Jiang Yi. "Don't you just want to fight? Fine, young master will play with you." "Xiaohu, how can you speak to junior sister like that?" Li Fan reprimanded. "But master, she doesn't respect me." Lu Xiaohu pointed at Jiang Yi and said with dissatisfaction, "No matter what, I'm still a senior brother. How about this, I agree to the fight between the two of you." Li Fan thought for a moment, then said, "But in this competition, only the three of us can be present." "Master, I think we should add one more person." Jiang Yi hesitated for a moment and suddenly said. Chapter 1146. "What?" Li Fan looked at his little apprentice. Master, being the referee, is inevitably biased. Disciple is guilty, but I still hope Master can hire another notary. "You little girl," Li Fan was helpless. Jiang Yi was afraid that he would be biased towards Lu Xiaohu. At that time, the dragoness will also be there, but you probably won't trust her. How about I let Imperial Concubine Zhou be the referee? Anyway, Imperial Concubine Zhou had nothing else to do besides cultivating. It would be good to let her come out and join in the fun. That's good, thank you master. Jiang Yi knelt down and respectfully kowtowed to Li Fan. Master, I will definitely keep my position. Lu Xiaohu patted his chest. I want to show the demeanor and dignity of a senior. It's good to have ambition, but Jiang Yi is right, you are a bit frivolous. Li Fan patted Lu Xiaohu's shoulder. Don't forget, you almost lost today. Lu Xiaohu's face suddenly turned red. Becoming strong too early has made your mentality a bit inflated. Li Fan warned him, and your current strength is only at the early stage of ascension. Compared with your junior sister, you are still a bit weaker. But with your environment, after practicing for so long, you should be stronger than Jiang Yi. Do you know why? Disciple is not talented. Master, please reprimand, because you are too comfortable. Li Fan's eyes flashed. Worry and work can make a country prosper, and idleness can lead to death. Disciple knows his mistake, I won't say too much. You two are not children anymore, the rest is up to you. Li Fan stood there with his hands behind his back, looking at the two of them. You both go do your own things, I will go find Imperial Concubine Zhou. Arrange the competition tonight, and don't tell outsiders. After all, there is a ban on martial arts, I don't want to cause trouble. Yes. The two apprentices nodded and retreated. Li Fan originally wanted to rest in the office for a while, but now he was afraid he couldn't. He had to go to Imperial Concubine Zhou's apartment. After the battle with Murong's family last time, although this woman also came to City G, she didn't stay with Li Fan. Instead, she went out to have fun. Imperial Concubine Zhou had money and martial arts skills. In this colorful world outside, no one knew what she would do. As long as he didn't go overboard and absorb other people's life force every day, it would be fine. According to the address left by Imperial Concubine Zhou, Li Fan walked directly to the Pearl Tower in City G. It should be a luxurious apartment building, right? How did it become a nightclub? Li Fan looked at the building in front of him. The building had a total of 30 stories, and it towered into the clouds. On the top of the building, there was a large font, Dream of the Ming Dynasty. Dream of the Ming Dynasty. Li Fan muttered. Could it be Imperial Concubine Zhou's doing? Li Fan walked in and was greeted by the deafening music, which almost threw Li Fan out. Good heavens! Why is it so noisy in the daytime? Li Fan rubbed his ears, took 2 steps back, and gently wrapped his ears with his true qi. Sure enough, it was much better. The noise around him seemed to recede like the tide, getting farther and farther away from him. However, after entering, there was a large inspection passage inside. 2 strong men in black security uniforms stood there with their arms crossed, with no expression on their faces. After seeing Li Fan, they stopped him and motioned him to take the safety passage. Li Fan thought, is Imperial Concubine Zhou so sophisticated now? She even has a safety passage. Fortunately, he didn't bring any weapons when he came out. Even the extraordinary sword was left in the martial arts club. He walked directly through the safety door, and the alarm above did not ring. When Li Fan came out, he only wore a loose Taoist suit, without any metal on his body. After the safety passage, there was a ballroom in front of him. The music inside was a little stronger, and men and women were dancing inside. A male waiter walked forward and asked Li Fan directly. Sir, do you want a booth or a private room? I'm looking for someone. Who are you looking for? Imperial Concubine Zhou. Imperial Concubine Zhou didn't use her name in modern times. She always used her code name. So much so that Li Fan forgot what her name was. The waiter suddenly became speechless and looked at Li Fan. Who are you? Tell Imperial Concubine Zhou that Li Fan is looking for her. Li Fan said that it didn't seem that easy to see Imperial Concubine Zhou. Mr. Li, right? The waiter was instantly relieved. He seemed to have heard of Li Fan's name somewhere. The Queen ordered that if it's you, we should immediately treat you like a distinguished guest. Dear Mr. Li, this way please. The waiter became respectful and led Li Fan to the side with a smile on his face. Queen. Li Fan couldn't help but want to laugh. This imperial concubine Zhou actually called herself a queen. It didn't matter. In this materialistic society, those who had money would naturally be the king. The waiter led Li Fan into an elevator and personally opened the elevator for him. You guys did a good job. Li Fan politely praised, it's just a little noisy. This floor is a dance floor, so it will naturally be a little noisy. The waiter said with a smile, there are more facilities on other floors. We have a quiet room here. Mr. Li can go there and sit down. There is also a resident band inside to play for you. I can go back and see. Li Fan said that imperial concubine Zhou really knew how to do things. She did it quite well. He suddenly had an idea and asked another question. Then, do you have that kind of place here? What kind? A place that makes men happy. Li Fan squinted his eyes. Mr. Li is really humorous. Naturally, there is. The waiter seemed to be a little proud. Not only is there a place that makes men happy, but there is also a place that makes women happy. Her Majesty the Queen said that she wanted to build this place into an independent small kingdom, full of happiness. Imperial concubine Zhou was really good. Li Fan was convinced. Does Mr. Li want to go and see? Forget it. Let's go to Imperial concubine Zhou first. Now was not the time to relax. Moreover, Lu Wan-er often came to collect his homework at night. Li Fan was not hungry. Okay, Her Majesty the Queen is on the top floor. The elevator slowly went up. The waiter opened a secret door on the elevator panel and then entered the new floor. It was so hidden. Was Imperial concubine Zhou afraid that someone would plot against her? A minute later, the elevator finally climbed to the top floor. The elevator door slowly opened. When it opened, it was the room where Imperial concubine Zhou lived. The decoration inside was very simple, full of the feeling of the Ming dynasty. In front of them, there was a red pillar. Two strong and handsome young men were tied to it. A sexy beauty was holding a whip and lashing them. Li Fan was dumbfounded. Damn, what's going on? Chapter 1147. Li Fan went in to take a look. Imperial concubine Zhou was wearing a sexy leather dress. She was holding a small whip in her hand and a candle in her other hand. She was currently whipping two strong young men. Li Fan was dumbfounded. This is a bit unexpected. Li Fan, why are you here? Imperial concubine Zhou turned her head and saw Li Fan. She was somewhat happy. Come, take off your clothes. Let this imperial consort serve you well. Li Fan was a bit scared. Forget it, you misunderstood. Imperial concubine Zhou saw the whip and candle in her hand. She put the candle to the side and then used the whip to break the handcuffs on the two men's hands and put them down. Two stupid pigs, get lost. Yes, the Queen. The two men left in high spirits, seeming as if they had not had enough yet. Is this your boy toy? After they left, Li Fan asked. It's a guest. Imperial concubine Zhou picked up a bottle of red wine from the bar next to her, poured it into two glasses, and handed one to Li Fan. Guest? Li Fan took the red wine and smelled it. It seemed to be a good wine. Yes, they came to this imperial consort to enjoy the feeling of being abused by this imperial consort. Imperial concubine Zhou put a robe on her body and smiled at Li Fan. Her beauty was enough to cause the downfall of a country. Do you want to try it? This imperial consort seems to be very happy. Forget it. I don't have this hobby. Li Fan was also depressed in his heart. Wasn't this spending money to find suffering? Yes, a domineering man like you will not accept such pleasure. Imperial concubine Zhou looked at Li Fan and licked her lips. What you like should be another kind of service. What do you want to do? You guess. Damn, you guess whether I guess or not. Li Fan felt that Imperial concubine Zhou was getting more and more dangerous. You mingled quite well in modern society. Not bad. I sold some jewelry and got some money. Imperial concubine Zhou gently stretched her waist, looking extremely charming. As long as you have money, people will treat you like a queen. I have to say, I really enjoy this feeling. To those people, they don't care about your bloodline. As long as you have money, that's enough. You're right, Yi Zichen said. Li Fan didn't refute, but your interests are too unique. What's so special about it? Since ancient times, after humans ate and drank their fill, they liked to have fun. This is an unchanging tradition. I gave them a good place to go and they are all very grateful to me. Alright. If it weren't for the fact that I've been busy lately, I would really like to visit your place more often. I heard that there's something going on here, right? There's even a live band. Li Fan did not mean what he said. Yeah, but it's not just quiet here. This place has a total of 30 floors. The middle 20 floors are apartments for members and guests. As for the remaining 10 floors, except for my floor, the remaining 9 floors are all kinds of entertainment clubs. Baths, gyms, brothels, bars, there's even a men's place for female guests. If you're interested, you can go and take a look. My sexual orientation is very normal. Only women are suitable for me. I'm just saying. Why are you so excited? Imperial concubine Zhou smiled happily. Li Fan was speechless. This woman was obviously an imperial concubine, how could she be so naughty sometimes? Women, are really some incomprehensible animals. Oh right, you don't visit me without a reason. What business do you have here, Li Fan? Imperial concubine Zhou drank a mouthful of red wine and asked Li Fan with an elegant expression. I missed you, so I came to see you. Li Fan casually said. Really? Then I'm really honored. Imperial concubine Zhou's eyes narrowed into a crescent moon. Little tyrant has so many harems. It's really not easy for you to remember me. You're exaggerating. Li Fan was a bit embarrassed. Come on, don't give me that. Say, why are you looking for me? Do you want me to help you fight? Imperial concubine Zhou guessed half of Li Fan's thoughts. I'm looking for you. There's indeed something. Li Fan took a sip of the wine in his hand. The taste was not bad, but it was a bit astringent. But, it's not a fight. I want you to watch others fight. Li Fan's answer made Imperial concubine Zhou puzzled. What do you mean? My 2 apprentices want to compete. I hope you can be the notary. Li Fan explained, you know, in terms of martial arts, you're an immortal evil Buddha. You can be called a master. You flatter me so much, this consort is really not used to it. Imperial concubine Zhou was not a fool. She didn't immediately fall for Li Fan's trick. If you want me to fight, you have to pay a little fee, right? Li Fan was surprised. What do you mean? Do I need money? Do you think I'm short of money? Imperial concubine Zhou said, walked to a chair, and sat down. This chair was also specially made. It was completely carved from jade, and there were 2 golden phoenixes carved on both sides. From the side door, a black leopard came out. It yawned and lazily lay in front of Imperial concubine Zhou. Imperial concubine Zhou put her hand on its head, looked at Li Fan, and then pressed one of the phoenix's ruby eyes. The secret door of a wardrobe next to her slowly opened, revealing the contents behind. Inside were all antiques from the Ming dynasty. They were the ones that Li Fan saw at the bottom of the sea that day. Why are they still here? Nonsense, these are China's treasures. Don't tell me you're selling them to the black market. Imperial concubine Zhou rolled her eyes at Li Fan. only some gold and gems were sold. You're sitting on the world's wealth, Li Fan was deeply envious. In fact, I've spent almost all of my money for this amusement park. Imperial concubine Zhou's hand gently rubbed the black leopard's head. The black leopard seemed to enjoy it very much. It lazily lay there, accepting its master's touch. Fortunately, this place has begun to make a profit. Every day, there are hundreds of thousands of yuan coming in. How about it, do you want to invest? Li Fan thought for a moment, okay, I'll invest 1 share. How much is 1 share? I've invested 2 billion here. You can invest in 1 share. Just 20 million will do. Can I invest 1/10,000? Can I invest 200,000? I think you don't need to pay 200,000. Imperial concubine Zhou was not angry. Instead, she smiled, as long as you take out one thing, I will give you half of the shares. What thing? Little overlord. Fuck, I'm not a thing, pay, that's not what I meant. Li Fan was somewhat annoyed, what do you want me to do? Suck me dry. Yes, suck you dry. When Imperial concubine Zhou said this, she stretched out her hand toward Li Fan. A huge force directly sucked Li Fan in front of her. Chapter 1148. Li Fan was somewhat surprised. When Imperial concubine Zhou stretched out her hand, he actually lost control of his body and was directly sucked in. This Imperial concubine Zhou's strength actually recovered so much. Looking at Imperial concubine Zhou who was so close to him, her beautiful face was so clear. The Black Panther below her roared at Li Fan, seemingly very dissatisfied. Imperial concubine Zhou gently kicked it with her foot, and it immediately became obedient. How many people's vitality have you sucked? Li Fan's complexion was somewhat heavy as he directly asked. Are you worried about others? Imperial concubine Zhou smiled. She pulled Li Fan, her fingers gently sliding on his cheek. You should worry about yourself first. Do you want to suck me dry? That's right, I want to suck you dry. Imperial concubine Zhou licked her lips. Demoness, it seems that I really shouldn't have kept you alive. Li Fan's vitality surged, and his anger overflowed. Why are you so excited? Imperial concubine Zhou smiled, this concubine has never sucked a person to death. In this befuddled place, this concubine only sucked a little bit of everyone's vitality, which has almost no effect on them. However, this place has a lot of people, so this concubine naturally became stronger. Is what you said true? Of course, this concubine also doesn't want to kill people. In modern society, killing people is a very troublesome thing. Isn't it good to become stronger this way? But didn't you say that you want to suck me dry? That's right, this concubine wants to suck you dry. As Imperial concubine Zhou said this, she reached her hand into Li Fan's pants and pulled. Li Fan was speechless. When she said to suck, this was what she meant, can't we have something to talk about? I can't. Imperial concubine Zhou smiled, didn't you want to find this concubine for help? Then you have to pay the price. What this? A grown man dilly-dallying. Today, you will follow this concubine. Imperial concubine Zhou pushed Li Fan, and the two of them rolled on the ground. Last time, Li Fan and Imperial concubine Zhou also did something similar. However, at that time, Li Fan was possessed by a demon, so he didn't know what it felt like. After trying it out, Li Fan finally understood what was so good about Imperial consort Zhou. This Imperial concubine Zhou was one of the top 10 treasures, the 3 rivers of spring water. It was said that there were 3 pearls hidden in the heart of the flower, which stimulated men. Usually, when Li Fan was with Lu Wanner, it was not a problem for him to last 2 hours. However, in Imperial concubine Zhou's place, he couldn't hold on for more than half an hour. Don't waste your primordial yang. Imperial concubine Zhou whispered in Li Fan's ear, otherwise, I will absorb all of your power. Imperial concubine Zhou's voice provoked Li Fan. Ma Dan, how could he admit defeat? Li Fan immediately gathered his essence at one point, maintaining his state. Imperial concubine Zhou's body also emitted a suction force, as if it wanted to suck away Li Fan's soul. This woman is beautiful and has a hidden killing intent. Li Fan condensed his essence even more, resisting Imperial concubine Zhou's suction force. Different from Murong's, Imperial concubine Zhou's divine technique sucked away vitality, not just true qi. The two people fought to their heart's content. Li Fan persisted for another half an hour, but he couldn't hold on any longer. But Imperial concubine Zhou pushed him away, put on her robe, and sat back on the jade chair. She put her feet on the Black Panther and looked at Li Fan. It's over. Imperial concubine Zhou's face was still somewhat flushed. She was slightly panting, which made her look extremely tempting. Li Fan was a little unconvinced. Today, he was actually defeated. Last time. Did I also lose? How is that possible? Imperial concubine Zhou smiled. Last time, you completely conquered this concubine. Damn. Li Fan was unhappy. Am I not as good as my other self? This feeling of being inferior to myself is really strange. However, after having sex with this concubine, your skill should have increased a little. Imperial concubine Zhou asked. Li Fan felt it for a moment, and it was indeed so. After having sex with Imperial concubine Zhou for 300 rounds, his essence qi actually increased a lot. It seems like this is also a strange training method. This Imperial concubine Zhou is really powerful. Li Fan coughed twice to cover up his embarrassment. Although the current you is quite cute, you lack that kind of domineering attitude that despises everything. Imperial concubine Zhou pressed her left leg against her right leg. She looked at Li Fan and slowly said, you can stay with this concubine for a while, this concubine will make you stronger. Then forget it. Li Fan admitted it. Could it be that Imperial concubine Zhou wants to train him? In fact, why do you insist on being with this concubine? Imperial concubine Zhou frankly persuaded, after this concubine woke up, the first person I met was you. You and this concubine seem to have some fate. If you stay here with this concubine and dual cultivate with this concubine day and night, presumably in a few years, you can become a saint-level expert. Moreover, you can also absorb the vitality of those people here. You only need to absorb a little bit from each person. One day is enough for you. No need. Such a big temptation made Li Fan hesitate for a while. But after a while, Li Fan immediately refused Imperial concubine Zhou. I prefer to cultivate by myself. This way, I feel more accomplished. You're still that arrogant, AI. Imperial concubine Zhou sighed. Her expression seemed to be somewhat disappointed. Since it's like this, it's useless for this concubine to say anything. This concubine will naturally do what I promised you. Say, when? Tonight. Li Fan thought for a moment, let's have dinner together. Sure. Imperial concubine Zhou seemed happy again. This concubine's taste is very picky. It's different from that gluttonous little guy beside you. Rest assured, this concubine will treat you to a feast, my imperial concubine. Then this concubine will dress up. You go outside and wait for this concubine. Why do you want to go outside? If I tell you to go, then go. After this concubine dresses up, I will come out to see you. With that, Imperial concubine Zhou didn't allow Li Fan to say anything and drove him out. Li Fan stood outside, scratching his head. This Imperial concubine Zhou was really unpredictable. Just a moment ago, she was doing it naked, but now she was driving him out. Li Fan stood outside for a long time. After more than half an hour, Imperial concubine Zhou came out. She changed into a beautiful Han dress and stood in front of Li Fan. She looked like a fairy that came out of a painting. It was rare to see such a beautiful woman. Li Fan sighed with emotion in his heart. In this world, perhaps she was the only one. Let's go. Imperial concubine Zhou winked her eyes at Li Fan. Her mischievous spirit secretly came out again. Yes, accompany the imperial concubine out of the palace. Li Fan loudly shouted, causing imperial concubine Zhou to laugh. We didn't shout these words at that time. You can go to the Qing dynasty and become a eunuch. Pfft, if you don't want to, then forget it. No, this concubine likes you very much. Let's go.